What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Hey, how y'all doing out there? What's going on? What's going on? Happy Sunday. Hope you are all having a good day today on this lovely, beautiful Sunday, July 18th, 2021. Thank you all so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. We already got some super chats in the building. Let me go ahead and shout that out. And first, Aries Fireboy, I hope you have an awesome day, bro. Salute. Thank you so much. And also the Wakanda Forever. Hey, B and my Wakanda family. Everyone go see Summer of Soul, the best music documentary I've ever seen. Skip seeing Porky Pig rap. See this instead. I think that is a Space Jam reference. And also, I actually like Taskmaster. Have a good show, B. Well, thank you so much, man. I do appreciate it. And because of that, let's just go ahead and start it off like this.
What money reside? What a money reside? What a money reside? What a money reside?
And thank you so much, Wakanda Forever, for the super chat. I do appreciate it. And guys, let me go ahead and bring in my second guest of the show, or not the second guest, excuse me, my first guest of the show today. Love this gentleman so much, coming over from the east side. That is the living legend, Larry, with Today I Feel Like. How are you doing, my brother? How are you doing?
Man, you said the second guest. I thought I was doing like a channel takeover or something. You were going to be the guest.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Just trying to got my words twisted up there, trying to be as organized as I can. But thank you so much for being here, man. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem, man. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. And I love that Black Panther shirt, you know, with the green and purple background. That's dope. You be killing us with the backgrounds and the t-shirts, man.
You know, I have to represent, man. I have to represent for my peoples. Hey, if we're not going to love us, who will? You know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree 1000%. And I mean, did you have a good day today? How was your day?
It was pretty good, man. It was pretty good. I mean, I didn't really do much. I woke up and watched the last stage of the Tour de France, and ate some leftovers and just sort of kicked it. I watched the first episode of the new Power Book 3, the Canaan series, and then I watched an episode of The Shy. Yeah, man, that was about it.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I what I was planning on doing, because I saw it too. I did enjoy the show. I woke up at 2 a.m. and watched it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was gonna make a quick video, just like my initial thoughts, 5 or 10 minutes, and then like later on, like either today or tomorrow, because I'm off tomorrow, do like a full breakdown, kind of how I do Loki, and I still may do that. But I enjoyed it. And so, guys, Power is back. Most likely we will be popping up on Lamont's channel each week to discuss it, and I am excited about that.
But I had mixed feelings about it, man.
Really. Well, hold those, because we may. We may have time to do the initial thoughts here today, and so that's entirely up to you. But just save your thoughts. We got 65 people in the chat right now, so thank all of you. And I got 31 thumbs up. So nice. If I get a few more thumbs up, about 30 more, that would be great. And let me just shout out everybody in the chat. We got SJ Evans in the building
chat too.
Oh yeah, I saw it. We're gonna get to it. Rim 17, hey, Tia Bryant, Max Lamont, what's going on? Welcome to the dark side. Yes. Hey, Melissa. How
everybody likes it dark.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. The Wakanda Forever Summer of Soul was awesome. Love seeing Sly and the Family Stone, especially. That's what's up right there. D Weave is in the building. Excuse me. Zia Latrice is in the building. Hey, how you doing? All right, who else
has one of those names that you just want to shout out from across the room when you see him. You want to be like, dude,
I agree. Yes, sir. What's up, Karma? Serene is in here. I'm glad you made it on time. I can say, B, what's going on? Ready for this? Okay, ready for the convo. I'm ready for it too. Maclamania. Well, that's not Maclamania. It's Maclamia. If this live don't start soon, then I'm leaving. Hey, we started on time. Excuse me. I started on time. So, I am sorry.
She didn't want to see the intro video, man. She wanted all you right from the jump. She didn't want to see the intro video.
We was ready.
She wanted all you.
Hey, how you doing?
People what they want.
I know. Stephanie Garnett. What's up? Pound the pavement. The runaround. Hey, how you doing?
God, B, you have some of the prettiest doggone viewers up there. I keep checking some of these thumbnail photos.
I am blessed. With their presence. Ghost BKLUE, what's going on? Kellen 221, what's going on? We got Xander Cage. I thought I skipped one. Okay, Pound the Pavement.
Did he go Xander Cage from Drawn Together?
No.
Xander Cage is a character from a show called Drawn Together.
It's also from Triple X, ain't it?
Is it?
Yeah, Xander Cage.
Okay. All right.
I think that's what that's from.
Okay.
But Pound the Pavement. Just watch your Fall from Grace review. He had me falling out, bro. I need that ashtray. Ashtray, bitch. Yes. Thank you so much, Pound the Pavement, for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Zia Latrice for the $14.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Like, comment, and share. Thank you. Jaren 215
ride or die, man.
Yes, she is. And Carmen saying, "What's up to you, Larry?" TO double. And let me go ahead and let me Steve and Lawless. Hey. If I skip some of y'all, I'm sorry, because sometimes when a super chat comes in, it skips to the bottom, and I'm seeing I skip some people. So Adam Lott was good. Professor the film fan. Hey. Greg Goose 125. Okay, now I think I'm caught up. Now I think Carbro, what's good? What's up? Let's see. Hold on, Alan. Do you know who Dead End Hip Hop? They just did a Black Widow review on their podcast, and they were saying how they shouldn't recast T'Challa. Well, hey, let's talk about that later on. Bring that back up, Adam, at the end of the show, man. I would appreciate it. I may have time today. But let me bring in my second guest from the show today. Love this dude right here as well. He's been on my channel a number of times.
This is the third guest.
No, this is the second guest. Don't confuse me, Larry. All right. I was on the road now. Okay. But from the great state of Missouri, my man, Mr. Elliot with Movie Files. How are you doing, my brother? How are you doing?
Good. What's going on, Brandon? How we doing, Larry? What's going on, chat? How's everyone doing on this
favorite
Sunday?
homie.
We good, man. We good on this lovely Sunday, man. And thank you so much for being here, man. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, man. It's always a pleasure, man. I haven't seen Larry in a minute, man. How you doing, Larry?
I know, man. I had to take about a week off or something. I had to recharge my batteries a little bit, you know.
Yes,
I hear you.
Yeah, that is very, very necessary. And so I understand. So, gentlemen, I really do appreciate both of you being here. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. I'm pretty sure that everybody out there in the chat feels the same way because you guys are great guests. All of my guests are great. You know, if they're on this channel, they're great. And so you need to follow them on social media.
I just want to say, first of all, I have to interrupt y'all and say F both of y'all because the beard jealousy is real. You know? I just watch both y'all motherfuckers up there, mother effers, stroking your beards, and you know, my stuff doesn't grow in like that. So beard jealousy is real.
It's okay, man. You're knocking me off my flow, man. You know,
I'm sorry, my bad, my bad, man.
You know, it's all right. It's okay. It's all right. We're gonna work it out. And I'm trying to get like Elliot, man. I still got the 7th grade junior high thing going on, but we're gonna work it out. We're gonna work it out. But like I was saying, follow these gentlemen on social media. Their handles are up on the screen right now. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff right there. Also, you can find
OnlyFans.
Also, you can find the information down in the description box, and you can head over to my channel tab, and you will see them right there. The whole crew, the whole fam, right there. And today, guys, we are coming to you live on YouTube at Just My Opinion Reviews, on Twitch at Just My Opinion Reviews, and Facebook.com/Just My Opinion. Also, want to let all of you know, welcome to this Movie News Roundup show. And if you want to read along and know what we're going to be talking about today, all of the links are down in the description box below. And so we are at the 12-minute mark with 86 people in the chat.
I like it.
I like it too. 62 thumbs up. So if I can get a few more thumbs up, glasses and beards. What's up, my Sharice? I love it.
You know,
so
that's what I'm saying, man.
Yes. And so, Larry, I know you was here first, but I want to come to you second on this first topic because I want to come to you first on the second topic. If you know why, if that's okay. I just want to give you a heads up, like, you know, hey, I was here first. But gentlemen, if it is okay with you, we can go ahead and get started if that's all right with y'all.
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
All right. So what is it? Larry, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Elliot, are you ready?
Let's do it, man.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. And again, guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the Movie News Roundup show number 22. I think I may have to start putting the numbers in that little blue section on the bottom left there. I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that just to let the people know that, you know, the number is just continuing to go up and it's just not gonna stop. But we're gonna be talking, you know, Black Widow, Taskmaster, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Black Adam, some prostitution rings, a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And I'm really excited about it. And let's go ahead and just move on to this first topic right here. And that is some box office news because we just got a Space Jam, a new legacy, opening in theaters worldwide this past weekend. And I have this report right here. Coming from, I'm sorry?
Best movie of the year.
No, Larry, no. But this is from Deadline. And again, guys, if you're watching this in the live or on the replay, there's a link to this article down in the description box, and you can read at your own leisure. But this is from Deadline. Space Jam: A New Legacy steals ball away from the Black Widow with $31 million opening, best for family pick in Warner Brothers during the pandemic. And this is from Anthony De Alessandro. And it goes on to read, this is a Sunday AM update, so it was updated today. Even with Space Jam: A New Legacy and Homes on HBO Max, Warner Brothers proves again that when they shell out TV spots, they can open a film and movie theaters to a solid number. In this case, it was the best 3-day we've seen for a family film during the pandemic with 31.65 million. That's also the best for Warner Brothers during the COVID-19 era, beating Godzilla vs. Kong big Easter opening of 31.6 million by a smidge, and also a record career opening for director Malcolm D. Lee, beating the opening weekend of his Girls Trip by 31.2 million. And so I'm coming to you first, Elliot, but I have this quote right here. It says, it's the family movie of the summer, and it's exciting to see audiences come back in big numbers, said Warner Brothers domestic theatrical distribution chief Jeff Goldstein, who praised big marketing push by the studio for a Looney Tunes NBA sequel, which included everything from bus raps, loud social media drummings from star and producer LeBron James, and the Pix mobile game Looney Tunes World of Mayhem, which has a week's themes devoted to the sequel. So, Elliot, like I said, I'm coming to you, man. What do you make about these numbers? Do you think it's a big deal? Not a big deal, especially because we're in the pandemic. Also, it's knocking Black Widow off of the #1 spot, and Marvel movies tend to hang on to that for a couple of weekends. And also give you 2 cents of how you felt about the movie, because I don't even know if you've seen it or not. But I'm coming to you, man. How you feeling about all this? You're muted, sir.
Can you hear me? Mic check. I guess we got to say LeBron James. I mean, this is pretty impressive. The reason I think, and by the way, I haven't seen the film. I might check it out later. Yeah, it just, I don't know, man. The trailer, and I'm not a LeBron James hater. I actually respect him a lot, but I don't know. I didn't fit it into my schedule this weekend, but I'll watch it maybe next week. Listen, man, this is huge because unlike Disney Plus and Black Widow, which was $30, and we talked about the box office, last week, but this is pretty impressive because HBO Max, it's free on HBO Max. Now, of course, it's a $15 charge a month, but still, I mean, the whole conversation about Disney Plus and having this platform for kids to watch it with big families, but knowing that this isn't a $30 charge and still made this money and it beat Black Widow is pretty impressive. And again, I know people love the Looney Tunes, but I think this is more so to speak to the power of LeBron James. I think people really want to come out and show him some love and support. Obviously, as people are mentioning in the chat, it's summertime, it's family fun. People are, going out to the films and all that. But yeah, man, now this is very, very impressive. Now, again, I haven't seen the film. I have spoken to some of my friends, really close friend of mine saw it yesterday and said it was trash. Now, I don't allow their opinions to affect mine if I want to see it or not, but I've heard, that the film is, it's a film. I heard it's an advertisement of HBO. It's a bunch of stuff being thrown out, and this, that, and the third. But I don't know, man. Minus my thoughts on the film, which I haven't seen, I'm pretty impressed by these numbers because, again, knowing the fact that it's available to stream on HBO Max and it still managed to be #1 speaks a lot to people being excited for it and checking out Mr. LeBron James. So
yes, sir.
Yeah,
there he is right there. And Larry, before I come to you, I just want to say real quick. Well, first, I did see the film. When I
watched your review too, Brandon, I was like,
yeah, I mean, it was okay, but then when I thought about it more, I just disliked it more. I like LeBron James. I'm not a hater. I think he did fairly well in the film.
Mm-hmm.
I was just really disappointed about Don Cheadle's performance and the long, dreadful journey it took to get to the basketball game. Once it got to that point, it did pick up a little bit. And also, I want to let you guys know, it is okay if you disagree with me on a movie. If I think it sucks and you like it, that's fine. If I like it and you think it sucks, that's fine too. I'm just saying that just because some of the comments I got, even my brother called me and he was just like, hey, man, I got to let you know, bro, I disagree with you, man. I kind of liked it, man. It was fun, and he was like talking to me like he was afraid to say that. And I'm just like, bro, it's cool, man. If
hey, man, it's 2021. People get canceled out here, Brandon. You get canceled if you don't like things.
And I respect him for doing it because he actually corrected me. I was wrong in my review, and I'll admit it because I don't have time to watch sports right now. I wish I did. I just can't fit it into my schedule. I mean, I can catch a game here and there, but it won't have any significance because I won't be able to follow a team or season. You know what I'm saying? I do love sports though. But in the review, I said that I don't watch sports. I don't have time. And so in my review, I was like, one, I was wrong because in the sequel, they're called the Goon Squad, but in the original, they're called the evil team was called Monsters. I called them the Goon Squad in both of them, and people kind of called me out. But I said that the Goon Squad in the second film with LeBron, there was no personality to their characters. They were just kind of empty beings. He was like, actually, Brendan, you're wrong, because if you watch the NBA, you will see that every NBA player that was in the sequel, was a exact carbon copy of their real life selves in the NBA. And you wouldn't know that if you don't watch it. And so I had to take that L or whatever, and he corrected me on that. So I just go to say it's okay if we disagree with all of that. And so I know Larry did see the film, and I'm coming to him. And while I want to add this comment in, also in this article that's linked in the description, it says that iSpot shows that Warner Brothers spent $15.2 million in TV spots on the Looney Tunes live action animation hybrid movie since April of this year, yielding nearly 1 billion impressions. That's just kind of how many times I guess the advertisement pops up. So that's 15.2 million there in marketing on TV spots. And if we see here, I see it too.
Look at that.
The Space Jam right here is a $150 million budget. But let me go ahead and grab that real quick, Larry, if you don't mind, before I come to you, sir.
I like it.
From Harvey Avery, my dad, $49.99. Happy early birthday, Brandon Avery. Enjoy lunch on me, sir. Thank you so much, Pops. I do appreciate it, man.
What Avery coming through.
Thank you so much for the early birthday gift, sir. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. I love you. And his birthday is tomorrow too. So
is it really?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. A whole bunch of cancers in the house, man. My birthday was just on the 12th. I like it.
Yes. I was his 30th birthday present. So
oh man.
I hope you enjoyed this present.
The gift that keeps on taking.
right. But Larry, man, coming to you, man, how you feeling about this opening and knocking Black Widow off? How you felt about the film? And also this $15 million spent on marketing just for TV spots, because we normally don't get that type of information released to the general public. They never really release that information. So how you feeling about all this, Larry?
I think I'll be honest with you. When I first started watching Space Jam, the first part of the movie I thought was kind of stupid, and then I felt like it got better as it went on.
Right.
And then I was like, this is sort of like the end game of Looney Tunes. They brought in everybody. They brought everybody in this whole piece. They brought not just Looney Tunes, they brought Warner Brothers, they brought everybody from every property that they have in there. And it was corny, and it was everything that critics probably hate. And I saw this great meme put out by The Onion that said 6-year-old decides not to go see Space Jam after reading New York Times movie critics' terrible review or something, like scathing review or something to that effect. And I thought that just sums it up right there. No kid cares what movie critics say. They don't care if it's the New York Times or Yahoo or you on YouTube. They're gonna go see Space Jam for what it is, a lot of kid fun. This movie was not made, marketed, or anything else for us. This movie is probably for like the 13 and younger crowd. And, for the parents, maybe they get a couple chuckles out of it. There are some movies that are made for kids and adults at the same time, and they do well with that. Like Shrek is one of those movies where you have all the animation and the kids stuff that's in there, but you also have very sort of racy jokes that the kids aren't going to get that the parents will laugh at. This movie was not that. This movie was strictly for the children's. And so I thought it did well for what it is. I will say that this is another example, though, of why I think that Warner Brothers looked at their roster for this year and said, let's just go ahead and put it all out on HBO Max, because they knew that none of these movies, I think, were going to be big theatrical, hits. Like the only one of these movies that they've released early that I think was a good movie, like a truly good movie that I would have liked to have seen, was Judas and the Black Messiah. Everything else they put out has just sort of been like, And this is one of those movies too, where I think if there were not the pandemic, I think it would have done well in theaters, and it would have gotten flamed just the same. People would have been like, "This movie's terrible. I'm not going to see it." Mm-hmm. Like people who had kids would have gone to see it, but like people who were just like me, I saw the first Space Jam. If I thought this was going to be a good movie, if the pandemic was not here, I thought this was going to be a good movie, I might have taken my niece to go see it. I would have been like, yo, let's watch the first Space Jam and then go watch the second Space Jam. But I didn't even bother to have her come over to watch this Space Jam because I was like, yeah, it's probably not that good. Everybody said it was terrible. When I watched it, I was like, yeah, it's okay, But that's it. It's just okay.
Right on, right on, right on. And let me go ahead and do that for you. Not Karma, Mary Sharice. What is it? I just made one today. Here we go.
Oh, you did use Major Cash App?
One
Gotta get that
a
money,
business
man.
one. Yeah. So actually it is in this right here. Actually, I'm gonna have to. That's gonna take too long to scroll over. But it's all it is money sign. It's the same as my Instagram handle, but with the money thing.
Money sign.
Yeah, the money sign at the very
Where the money
beginning.
resides.
Yeah, exactly. Where the money resides. So,
You
but
know,
yeah,
I do say that. I think that what's interesting about this though is that they talk about how it bumped. They're sort of making these comparisons how it bumped out Black Widow off of the #1 spot. I don't think it bumped Black Widow off the #1 spot. I think Black Widow bumped itself off the #1 spot. They said that movie had a 67% drop from week 1 to week 2. I think whatever movie was coming out was gonna bump Black Widow out of that #1 spot because Black Widow just had the largest drop, the largest opening weekend drop in history. There was nothing that was gonna keep that movie in the #1 spot.
Agree 100%. I was gonna address that, but you took the words right out of my mouth, brother. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. But yeah, and so Space Jam, they winning right now, with this box office. So big ups to them. LeBron was commenting on Facebook like, hey haters, and he was showing the receipts and stuff. He was actually one of the better parts of the film to me. And I'm glad the man is winning, and so good for him. Good for him.
One thing I have to say about this movie that I thought was I thought some of the stuff that they did, they could have fixed it, and they just didn't. And that was some of it. I think the characters that they should have focused on, they just didn't. They spent so much time trying to do these cameos and show all the other properties from Warner Brothers and everything else, and HBO. They just spent so much time trying to show all these other characters and all these cameos. They didn't focus on the main characters enough, and I really would have liked to seen more of Lola. She's fantastic in this, and I think she should have had probably an extra 10 minutes of screen time, and they just didn't give her enough at all. I think Bugs Bunny's character was fantastic, but he is what he is. We love Bugs. He's always been sort of what he is, but they just they should have focused more on the core team instead of so much on the cameos.
Right. And I have a question for Brandon and Larry and everyone in the chat, and it's not a basketball competition or legacy competition, but I'm just curious, acting wise, MJ or LeBron James?
LeBron James. Actor? Well, LeBron James, easy.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I'd have to go back and watch the first Space Jam again because I felt, and it's probably just because of my age. When I saw the first Space Jam, I was much more feeling. I guess I was much more connected with the first Space Jam than this Space Jam. And it wasn't like I was young when I watched the first Space Jam, but I mean, I was, Michael Jordan was huge. It was the first time they've ever done a movie like this. So, I'll be honest with you, really what I would like to see is a behind the scenes documentary of this, because they talked about how they built him a full court on the lot for LeBron when they were making this movie. And they talked about how all these ball players would come over to the lot and they would have like these incredible pickup games with the best NBA players. And they were just out there balling like crazy. And they said people would just go over there and watch. And I would love to see a behind the scenes documentary about that, because that seems to me like it would probably be more interesting than this movie was.
Right on. And let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. And I just want to say, okay, that's your name. Okay, Mara Sharice, thank you so much for the Cash App, $25. Thank you. And also Zia Latrice, thank you for the Cash App too, for the birthday Cash App. Thank you, guys.
Zia Latrice.
I really do appreciate it. Y'all are freaking wonderful. Now let's go ahead and move on to this second topic of the day. And Larry, I'm gonna come to you first on this one right here. This is a very, very, very interesting topic, and don't even know who this guy is, but I think I will now. And I have this report right here. What is this from? The Insider.com. And it says California movie producer secret prostitution ring. And just to let you know, guys, if you're watching this in the live or in the replay, There's a link down to this article down in the description box for you to read at your own leisure. A California movie producer was indicted on charges of running a secret prostitution ring under the guise of a production company. This came out July the 15th, so just a few days ago. And a California movie producer was indicted on charges this past Thursday. Dylan Jordan, who goes by the aliases of Daniel Jordan, Daniel Maurice Haddon, and Daniel Bowler, was arrested in California but faces charges in the Southern District of New York. As alleged, for years, Dylan Jordan operated an extensive and far-reaching prostitution business using a purported event planning company and a moving production company to conceal the proceeds he made from exploiting women. Manhattan U.S. Attorney Audrey Strauss says. It goes on to say, now the party is over and the film is wrapped, she added. From about 2010 to May 2017, federal prosecutors said Jordan operated an international sex ring with the help of United Kingdom-based Madame, who was not identified in court filings, to share and refer customers. The indictment said that he maintained a roster of women who resided around the United States who, in exchange for payment, performed sexual acts for his clients. And it's not that lengthy, but at times Jordan's further disguised the nature of the check payments made to women for their prostitution services by describing them as modeling fees, appearances fees, consulting fees, massage therapy fees, and house party fees, among other things, the indictment said. But the FBI, in its mission to protect our citizens, uses every tool at its disposal to amass those who violate federal law and assist the impacted victims. Cross continue. We encourage anyone who was victimized by this defendant and anyone with additional information to contact our Newark field office. This is wild. This is crazy. This is bananas, but also kind of expected, to be honest with you. Larry, coming to you first, man. How you feeling about all this?
I'll tell you, when I was reading this article, I was just thinking, please don't let this dude own a pizza shop with like a basement.
Wow.
You know, because you know the queued up folks would have been all of Twitter, just like, see, we told you. But man, I'll just tell you, I mean, when you look at the people they said that he's worked with in the past, I think to myself, people will just not get out of their own ways. I'm like, you're a movie producer who has worked with people like Maggie Gyllenhaal and I forgot some of the other people they did, but I mean, you see his filmography, the dude is working.
Yeah.
He has a production. It's not like he's not working. I'm thinking to myself, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, that's just like if you find out that, I don't want to put him on the same level as someone like Mel Gibson or something, but you find out some producer like that's in Hollywood that's worked with all these people and is actively working, and he's just like running a sex ring. It doesn't make any sense why you do that. But I will tell you, this does bring up another issue, which I do think is something that should be talked about. People don't want to bring it up all the time, but I still think that prostitution should be legalized. I think we need to legalize it federally so that people can actually be protected, because we have so much that we find out later when we talk about all these instances of sex trafficking and women being taken advantage of. All this stuff happens because it's illegal and it's under the table, and people are trying to keep stuff on the DL. Well, if you can bring all this stuff above board, then you can have people getting registered. You can have people getting their I don't know, some sort of health sex card that shows that they have good sexual health, that they've been tested, that they're paying their taxes. You know, you can see who comes at, not you, but you know, if the person is seeing a client, you don't have to worry about that person getting beat up or killed, because they know that maybe the person has a registry of who they are. You know, that it's legal, so there's no need to hide stuff anymore. You don't need to be under the table with it. It's just, I think stuff like this is, because it is illegal, it just allows it for so much more terrible stuff to happen to the women that are involved in this industry instead of protecting them. I think keeping it illegal only protects the men and not the women.
That's a good point. I've heard that argument before a number of times. It makes sense to me to go ahead and legalize it. I'm not saying whether I agree or disagree. I'm not going to give my opinion on that. Do whatever you want to do with your life. I skimmed over this article twice. First time I was like, but then the second time I was like, well, I mean, as long as he wasn't exploiting the women, and if everybody was in the 100% agreement, like, no, this is just my business, I do service, you know, that's another thing. I'm not here to judge anybody. But I mean, if he's taking advantage of people and exploiting them and all that, and I don't know all the details, that's ridiculous. There's no room for that at all. How are you breaking all this down, Elliot?
Yeah, no, man, this is, and a couple of people have even mentioned it in chat. I mean, this is one of millions of horrible, terrible, disgusting stories that take place in Hollywood and people using their position of power. Harvey Weinstein comes to mind and just, hey, you want to be in a movie and gets sucked into the whole industry and, taking advantage of women is just, it's disgusting, man. And I don't know if the details of the article breaks down how long this has been going on. I think about 2013, about 7 years now. Yeah. So it's just like, and it brings up the other question too, in regards to how the industry runs. Just like, as Larry kind of alluded to, just like you think you're working with a producer and you think they're a good person and providing opportunities for people to work and get on sets. And then they're doing this on the side. It's just like, it's just crazy, man. And again, going back to this Hollywood conversation, it's just about the people you just don't know and you think they have good intentions and it just gets stuff like this comes out. So I'm glad he's called and this is one of many producers that I'm pretty sure are kind of looking behind their shoulders and their backs now and they're cracking down on this stuff. So as far as the conversation about prostitution being legalized, that's a whole stream within itself, man. I've heard the same conversation too, that it should be, something to consider. But yeah, I mean, that would be obviously with legalizing that comes with all the red tape and obviously still people doing it illegally. So I mean, that's a interesting conversation to have within itself. But in regards to this gentleman, I'm glad he was called.
Right on. Pound of payment, $2. A card with a best used by date. Thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it.
I'd see like Ghost. I think it was Ghost Blue, Ghost Black Blue, whatever, was saying something like 90% of all the females are taken advantage of. I'm not sure that that's true. I think that might have been true at one point when you had these girls out there working on the streets and had pimps and all that stuff. But so many sex workers nowadays are what people call independent sex workers, and they maintain their own websites and their own client lists and everything like that. And so a lot of these women have control of their own life and their own, they say what, who they're going to meet and when they're going to meet and how much it's going to cost and all the other stuff. They're not paying someone else to do all this for them. They're not having someone that's taking their money and taking advantage of them. There's still women out there like that, but I'm not going to say that it's 90%. And I just think that if you have, it's the problem. If you hire a prostitute and you go see a prostitute and you decide, I'm an asshole, I want to beat her up and take her money or rape her, the prostitute can't really do anything. She's working she's working in an industry that's illegal.
Is that true, bro?
Kind of like, I mean, technically they can. I mean, they can go to the cops and say, hey, I'm a prostitute. I hired this guy. This guy hired me and he didn't pay me, so it's rape. Or this guy came over and he beat me up and took my money. And
I hate to cut you off, but you can't. That's what I was looking for. You can't combine those two. Those are two different things. If you say, hey, I this guy said he would pay me for sex and he didn't pay me, I don't think you can sue for that. But if you turn around and say that he beat me up, that's just assault.
Because they've had this before where they've had this debate on whether or not if a person hires a prostitute and then does not pay, if that is considered rape, because the consensual part of that engagement is contingent on the payment.
I see what you're saying.
So once you withdraw the payment, there's you would have to assume the consent is also withdrawn. And so I think that basically what happens is when these girls get raped or they get taken advantage of and they go to the police don't often do anything. Sometimes they don't even take reports. Oftentimes the cops take advantage of the women themselves. And so it's just, they end up being taken advantage of by everybody in the process. So I think that when you legalize it, then you take some of that shame of the illegality out of it. Mm-hmm. There still might be the social stigma of it that you're a prostitute. Yeah. I mean, there's no difference than somebody having the stigma placed on them because they're a stripper or because they're a porn star or something. But you take some of the stigma of the illegality out of it. So if something happens, then they can at least go to the police and say, "Hey, I was robbed." You know,
remember that conversation I told you about? We had that conversation about the Facebook group that kicked me out because I made that comment that I didn't like.
Yes.
So I got booted out this group because apparently I got offended with a question I asked because it was doing I won't get into all that, but how did it go, Larry? So that somebody in the comment, I think it was Mara Cherie, she was saying that sex workers work, and they were saying that it should be, legalized or promoted or protected. And I was like, yeah, it should be protected, but I don't think it should be promoted. And I think I was going to pose a question like, okay, what you want your son or daughter, being a sex worker, is that something that you will promote? And I forgot whether I forgot exactly what it was said. Maybe I should have had all my ducks in a row before I brought the topic up. But me personally, I'm on the fence because while they should be protected, I still feel I'm not judging about it. I just don't feel like it should be promoted. And it was like, well, if you watch porn, then you're a hypocrite. Well, I can admit that I shouldn't be watching that as long as is with anybody, because it is damaging in all forms, on all sides. And so I'm kind of on the fence. As I just said it, I'm kind of on the fence, like as far as the legalization, if it should be promoted, and how it should be controlled. It's a slippery slope. I just hope that everybody can just treat everybody nice and everybody can be protected. And
let me push back and just let's consider this. I know that you say it shouldn't be promoted. I think a lot of that is, I wouldn't want to promote that for my I don't have any kids, but for my nieces or my nephews or anybody. But I think some of that is because we have sort of these, Western puritanical ideals in our head. A lot of them are, Christian Judeo beliefs that think this stuff is wrong. Other people don't have those beliefs, and so they don't have that same stigma attached to it. And just as an idea, we often think about, and most of us think about, oh, you should get an education and get a job and go and get a great job so you can do something and make a lot of money and be successful. You don't want to end up being something like a janitor. This is what I always heard. You don't want to grow up and be a janitor or a maid or something like that. Think of all the people that grow up around the world who are professional butlers. That is their career. That is what they've wanted to do. There are people who have families that have a lineage of butlers. That's what they do. And they pride themselves in servicing other people. And there are prostitutes out there there are some that I imagine that are probably just skanky crackheads, but there are also prostitutes out there that service parts of a society that don't normally have access to physical, interaction with other people, like people who are often, people who are handicapped. There is a whole industry out there of sex workers who service specifically handicapped people, because they are often lacking intimacy and they don't have a way to generally to meet people and have sex, or they just have trouble doing that. And so you can go visit these people and have sex, and that's a very big deal for people like that. Right
on. And Zilla, just to answer your question, I think I made like a comparison to like drug cartels and sex work or something like that, and somebody got upset. But it's all good. Jaron 215.
That's not an unfair comparison, depending on the situation.
Hold on, Jaron 215, $5 super chat. Pimping ain't easy, B. Avery. Thank you for the super chat, man. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Was that your last thing, Larry?
I was just gonna say your comparison to a drug cartel is not wholly unfair, depending on the situation.
Yeah, they didn't like it. And so
because I think what happens is people are often so caught up in the girls and trying to be politically correct and saying, oh, we have to support sex workers and sex positive women and everything else. I agree they should be supported, but there's also that part of the industry that is very dirty and low down and dangerous because it's illegal. Think about how booze was. Booze was like, it was a dirty, violent, ruthless business when they had prohibition. They decriminalized it, made booze legal again. And now you have fancy bars that cost, $20, $50 to go into, and they serve, $12, $18 drinks, Yeah. It's like if you take the illegality out of it, you take that stigma off of it, and all of a sudden people find ways to class it up. So
right on. Well, let's go ahead and move on. So, thank you, Larry. Let's go ahead and move on to
conversation.
It is third topic of the day. We got 135 people watching, 96 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down. They probably just stomach hurt. That's okay. Let me get a few more thumbs up. I would appreciate it, guys. And with this third topic, this third topic of the day, Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus. Our boy John Cheadle, who did a great job for 90 seconds in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that got him an Emmy nomination. Man, you know that's what's up. You know, this is crazy. So Don Cheadle Emmy nomination. This is quite interesting, guys. If you're watching this in the live or on the replay, there's a link down to this article down in the description box. And please let us know what you think down below in the comment section. But it goes on to say Marvel Studios had a good day at the Emmy nominations. Its first Disney Plus series, WandaVision, earned 23 nods, while its follow-up, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, scored 5 nods of his own. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was honored mostly for technical achievements in categories like outstanding sound editing, outstanding special visual effects, outstanding stunt coordination, and outstanding stunt performance. All those make sense. It was a good series to look at. However, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series award went to John Cheadle, who plays James Rose, aka War Machine. And a lot of people are kind of confused by that, as am I.
Including him.
Yeah, including him. You know, I mean, he went on a Twitter and, you know, he has some things to say. And let me go ahead and pull it up real quick right here. Where is it at? It says, yeah, if you're surprised, imagine how Cheetah feels. He posted his reaction on Twitter. Says, thanks, well wishers. Sorry, haters. Agreed. I don't really get it either. But on we go. Elliot.
Yeah, man.
How do you feel about this nomination that Don Cheadle got? And on top of that, the one that our brother right here, Mr. Carl Lumbly, did not get, who played Isaiah Bradley. That's just kind of weird to me. How you feeling about all this, man? Let us know. Let us know.
I think it's one of those award like rules or whatever, because again, he is nominated. He's not nominated for like best supporting actor. He's nominated for best like guest appearance. Now, obviously, Carl Lumbly, he wasn't a guest. He was kind of a supporting character. Right. But I don't know where why he didn't get a nomination for that class. Or I mean, no one got. I mean. Sam Wilson, but Anthony Mackie nor Sebastian Stan got any like acting nominations. So I guess in regards to what the award gives him as regards to a special guest, then I guess it makes sense. And Don Cheadle, for one, I mean, he's like one of the most revered Emmy. He's always winning Emmys on a lot of TV shows. So I guess this is kind of like checking a box type of situation. Don Cheadle is in the show. All right, let's give him a nomination. So I guess in the terms of like a guest spot, sure, he's deserving of it, but in regards to just how they give out awards is kind of silly to me and needs to be revised. So, but I mean, hey, it's at least the brother got an award, and I'm happy for him. But again, it's just like a lot of these award shows have the most silliest, dumbest categories out there. And again, just the fact that Carl Lumbly should have made it an award just for his performance alone. But hey, right
on. I'm laughing at these comments, but Larry, what you think of this, man?
Yeah.
Now I struggle with this when I read this. I don't want to inject race into something where it may not be relevant, but I think it might be here. Mm-hmm. I think that they might have picked Don Cheadle for this award because he was the safe Negro here.
Oh yeah,
he was the safe dude. Where Carl Lumbly brought up questions. If he had been nominated, it would have brought up questions about. It would have brought attention to his role about what his character was all about and the reason why his character was relevant to this show. And I don't think they wanted
100%.
I think that picking Don Cheadle and his clean cutness and all that, being sort of the sidekick to Iron Man in the past, I feel like he was just a safe Negro.
Yeah,
and which is funny because I mean we've seen some of the projects Don Cheadle's done. He's definitely not a safe Negro on some of it. I mean, you look at his show Black Monday, the dude's not safe, you know. But I think that might have been what they could have been thinking about here.
Yeah, man, it should have went to Carl. It should have went to this guy right here.
And I think his character still could have qualified as the guest spot because I think he only had like 3 scenes in this whole series. You know, they were significant. They felt bigger than they were, because they were so significant, which should indicate to me that he's probably should have got that nomination or that award because because his performance was so impactful in the series, even though it was just a quick couple of scenes.
Who were the other nominations is what I'm curious about on this the guests to validate what applies to be a guest or not. What's this? They got to be on the screen for less than a minute?
I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense. It's a bunch of hoopla. But it should have went to Carl right here. What would have been nice to me is if Don Cheadle came through, like after he was saying like, oh, when he was making his tweet, I don't get it. He should have shouted out Carl. Should have been like, why did I get it? It should have went to this brother right here. Did y'all see the performance? Blah, 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 blah. I wish actresses
to be honest, I doubt that Don Cheadle even watched the show.
Oh Lord, don't tell me that.
Not in a negative way. I just understand, like from a busy perspective. I don't know if any of these actors watch their other peers' shows.
That is
true.
Movies,
I don't know if they watch them either, but I also know that these shows are these award shows are very, very political. And I think people are worried about shouting out their fellow actors and saying they should have got it, or this person should have got it, or that person should have got it, because they don't want to get blackballed. They don't want to get locked out of awards for years on end because they've said something, because it does affect their bottom line. I mean, the fact of the matter is, you get nominated for an Emmy or for an Oscar, your stock goes up. And when your agent's talking to the people about the next project, they say, hey, this is a 5-time Emmy nominated actor here. You can't pay him scale, and so I think people are worried about their bottom line sometimes and don't always say stuff.
I don't know. I'm gonna move on after this, but a lot of people say that. It's just that I've been hearing that all my life. If we're really a community, it shouldn't matter. If everybody has each other back, it shouldn't matter. People are too afraid to step out on the edge. You're not a novice or beginner to the game, Don Cheadle. You've been in here forever. Everybody knows you. You're top quality caliber, and so I hope that's not his reasons. I don't know. But
we're not a community. We know this. That's why we have the low levels of representation and the poor types of representation.
No, I'm saying that's the goal, though. Is what I'm saying. Is that we need to back each other. My code is, if you're a black person, whether I like you or I don't like you, I want you to win. I want you to make it. Okay, I want you to eat. We don't have to be at the same table, but I still want you to eat.
Right. But what about when you see black people doing some real coonish stuff? Do you still
then you leave them alone. You say that they're on some clown shit, and you let them drown over there by the damn self. And I'm not in the park of trying to save a black person either. If they're clearly taking dips in the mayonnaise, or whatever, like Candace Owens. Jaren 215 $5. Who I remember Carl Lumbly in the movie South Central as brother Ali. Bobby is a man. Bubba, he's a man. I don't remember y'all.
No,
and I close out his IMDb. But thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. I do, and here you go.
Money reside. What a money reside. What a money reside. What a money reside.
Thank you. Now let's move on to this fourth topic of the day right here, and let's see what we got right here. I don't know what to make of this right here, but I got the report right here from Deadline. It says Loki director and EP Kate Herron says she's not returning for season 2 of Loki. And guess what, guys? I am not mad about it all. I am not. I am perfectly fine with this news right here. And again, guys, if you are reading this in the live, if you're watching this on the live or on the replay, there's a link down to this article down in the description box for you to read at your own leisure. It goes on to say, exclusive: Loki, Sylvie, and He Who Remains variants will be coming back for season 2 of Marvel's Loki, but EP and director Kate Herron, who has been a force behind the project, says she will not be returning. And I have that quote right here, and I'm gonna be coming to you first. Who are you, Larry, on how you feel about this? And it goes on to say, I'm not returning, the UK filmmaker told Deadline in an interview this morning. I always plan to be just for this. And to be honest, season 2 wasn't in the, I'm assuming, cards. That's something that just came out, and I'm excited. I'm really happy to watch it as a fan next season, but I just think I'm proud of what we did here, and I've given it my all. I'm working on some other stuff yet to be announced. Larry, do you think this was amicable? You think she got fired? You think she quit? Like, you suck, Kevin Feige? What do you make of this? Let us know, sir. Let us know.
It's so hard to say, man, because sometimes, I mean, you do have, I mean, all these people are creative types, and we know creative types are sometimes they're like, I put all of myself into this project for the last 4 years. People think, oh, the show just came out. It was only six episodes. They're like, yeah, but that 6 episodes was the last 4 years of my life, you know? And some people are like, okay, I've done it. It was great. I've had enough and I'm out. Deuces. You know, I'm on to something else. But at the same time, you often hear people say, oh, I'm just interested in working on my own stuff, or I have some other projects. And then like 3 years later, you read some like, you know, some Variety article with them blasting the Marvel executives talking about how she was forced out because she couldn't realize her vision or something. And so you just never know what to believe. But it really, I have to be honest with you, as revered as this show has been and as big as Marvel has gotten, I can't believe that anybody just wants to walk away from a successful show like this. Just be like, nah, I'm out. I don't have any other particular plans. I just want to do my own thing. I know.
Right on. I hear you.
It.
I got my 2 cents. I'm gonna give it after Elliot gives her his. Excuse me. But let me address this real quick. Zillatrice, another $2.99 super chat. I'm rooting for everybody black. I agree, and I have to say yes to that. I have to say yes. Thank you so much for the super chat, Zillatrice. I really do appreciate all of your help. You do keep the show alive. Elliot, how you feeling about this, man? You think it was a mutual agreement? She got fired? She quit? What you think?
Well, I read her. I mean, you can always look into things a little bit more than what they are, but I read her tweet on Twitter, and she, as she said in this article, it was kind of a one and done situation from Jump Street, because she had mentioned, this is something I actually was kind of thinking about in regards to how Marvel is, like, how their writer room and how their writer's room and how they're conducting these shows are completely different from how normal shows are put out. They're making movies. They're essentially making a 6-hour long movie. So it's not the same type of vibe and same type of like structure of how you would do like a regular show. So I think as an artist, yes, that's a huge opportunity, be able to work with Marvel. And she did say in the article, I would love to work with them in the future again. And who knows what the future holds for her and Marvel and whatnot. But to me, it does sound like a stressful type of process. If you're used to being like in the TV industry and used to the certain ways of how you go about these shows, and you come in with this, you know, Kevin Feige being, you know, we got to implement this, we got to set up, you know, Doctor Strange 2. It can be a pressure type of environment. And she might need to take, as Larry alludes to, she might spend 2 years on this project and need to take a break from, you know, what all came with this, and you know, being interviewed and asked questions about the future of the MCU and this, that, and the other, that she might just want to put a pause on it and kind of reevaluate her as a creator. So good on her on if it is just a mutual agreement of like, I only want to do one. I told my story, and who knows what the future holds. But I don't really think there's more than that. I don't think there's any malice, and I think the relationship is fine. But in regards to her absence for season 2, I would love to see someone else have another version of, because I mean, his brother, for example, Thor, has had 3 different, you know, directors of each of his films. Obviously, Taika Waititi's coming back for the 2nd or the 4th Thor film, but I would love for them to maybe do a Mandalorian thing and get 3 directors, or maybe 4 directors, however many episodes there are, and have a different director each week to kind of bring their flavor to the MCU and themselves. Obviously, it's great to have one director, one vision throughout the series, but I would like to see them switch it up maybe for a season 2 and have, you know, a Taika Waititi directed episode. You know, Ryan Coogler step in the mix. Obviously, he's doing his thing with Black Panther, but I would like to see,
let's get F.
maybe different
Gray in
directors.
there.
There you go. Yeah, have him come in the mix and switch it up. So we'll see, but I don't think there's any malice or any heartbroken or a relationship being torn between her and Marvel. I think we'll see her in the future in Marvel, you know, in the coming years.
Already, I hear you, man. And Karma, I got to do it for all the dubs. Let her be dancing.
You
Karma
know,
Serene,
love it.
thank you so much for the 1999 super chat. Happy birthday, Brandon. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
I love that. I love that.
Nice of
I
you.
love that thumbnail of her, man. That thumbnail makes you. She's got one of those thumbnails. When you see those chicks in the clubs, you get courage. You're like, oh man, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. You know,
That's a hell of a
You know,
compliment right there.
you know, you don't have a chance in hell, but you're like, I'm gonna do it anyway.
All right, there you go. Miss Karma, she may be single too, y'all. So shoot your shots. Shoot your shots.
Shoot it.
Shoot your
I'm
shot.
married, but I'm a great
Yeah.
wingman. You
There
know,
you
let me
go,
know.
right there. No, but Karma, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Now, me personally about this, I am not mad about this at all. While I did enjoy Loki, excuse me, I'm sorry. While I did enjoy Loki, there were a few whack episodes, and overall, I was disappointed with the season finale. I kind of felt like it was a mid-season finale instead of a final send-off of the show. In my recap of episode 6, some people did come for me. There was a few things that I kind of didn't miss. Also, I was misunderstood, but that's okay. But I think that they let her go. I think it's a combination of both. Like, she wanted to leave, but they wanted her to leave as well. Because they just maybe weren't happy with the directing or the writing. It could be money or contractual, like some people are saying in the chat, could be money. But those action scenes weren't the best. They just wasn't trash. And so it could be Kevin Feige was like, thank you for your hard work. I do appreciate it. But moving forward, we're going to go in a different direction. Kind of like how they got rid of the Captain Marvel directors. They made 1.1 billion worldwide. I mean, you can't say that wasn't successful financially, but Kevin Feige could have been like, thank you, but we want to go with the black lady. I forgot her name.
Nia DaCosta.
Yeah, we're gonna go. I'm pretty sure he didn't say we're gonna go with the black lady.
We're going with the black lady.
But I think y'all
you never know though. They might have said some ignorant stuff like that, and it never gets out there until some memos released like 8 years later or something.
Right. But I'm not mad at this at all. I'm happy because with the way, Loki was a great show. It could have been better, and if we can get better with another director, I'm 100% for that. So there's no complaints from me.
I want to see Catherine Bigelow direct a Marvel movie. I like her style, man. I like her style, and with that the way she did the Hurt Locker. She already had 2 Marvel people in the Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
Because she had Anthony Mackie and Jeremy Renner in there, so she can work with them.
Chris Pratt's in that too, I think.
Oh, was he in there too? Well, there you go, man. She's already got half the crew in there. So, yeah, I would love to see her. I would love to see her pick up one of these movies.
Right on. Now let's go ahead and what got thrown off. What number is this?
Number 4.
No, this is number 5. This is number 5, actually. Okay. So the 5th topic of the day, and I'm coming to you first, Larry, and I got the support right here from Screen Rant. It says Kevin Feige reveals Marvel Studios recently held a multiverse rules meeting. This does make me very, very happy. And again, guys, if you're watching this in the live or on the replay, there is a link down to this article down in the description box below for you to read at your own leisure. And it goes on to say, Kevin Feige reveals that a group of people at Marvel Studios recently met and laid out the rules for how the Marvel Cinematic, the multiverse works in the MCU. Kevin Feige reveals that Marvel Studios held a meeting about how the rules work. The multiverse was first mentioned in the MCU by the Ancient One and Doctor Strange, and used misdirection in Spider-Man Far From Home. The proper introduction to the MCU multiverse was unleashed. Excuse me, I got the hiccups in the final episode of Loki season 1, as sacred timeline broke off into many, many branches. And so it just kind of goes on to say exactly what Kevin Feige said. And I have the quote right here, and I'm coming to you first, Larry. And it goes on to say that the multiverse is coming up in a big way. There's interconnectivity there that people have already started to see and suss out. And I had a meeting this morning with the whole broad Marvel Studios team, going through the multiverse and the rules of the multiverse and exactly how to really deliver on the excitement surrounding the multiverse. Now, this probably just goes without saying because this is a cinematic universe. However, with this being reported, it still does just make me happy to hear it, even though, it may be common sense. So, but I'm just happy to hear it, and that's just my 2 cents. 2 cents, keeping it short and sweet. But Larry, how are you feeling about this, man? Kevin Feige meeting about this multiverse meeting to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, I think this is actually a really, really good idea because I hear so many people out there saying, "Oh, this just opens everything up. Marvel can do whatever they want now," and I'm like, but should they?
Right.
Like, and you run the risk if you don't put some parameters on things where you give someone some freedom to say, "Go write me a movie," and they come back with this fantastic piece of work. And then you're stuck with like, well, if we do this, it's going to monkey wrench something over here. And then it's going to monkey wrench something over there. But it's so good. Let's do it anyways, and we'll fix it later. That's what's likely could happen and probably would happen. And so I think for them to put some parameters on there and just have a rules meeting and say, look, here's the box. It's a big box, and you can do a lot in this box, but you have to stay inside the box. I think that's probably just a good idea. My question really is, I'm curious to know, were the Fox people in this meeting? Because you still have Spider-Man and Venom out there. What's up with them? Are they going to be? Is Marvel going to be playing in the multiverse sandbox in one way, and then Spider-Man and Venom are going to be out there just monkey wrenching it up, just throwing all kinds of craziness out there?
Well, Fox doesn't matter anymore because Disney owns them, and so that's all under one umbrella. But to the Spider-Man question, the Spider-Man, the Spider-Man question, they have to be. Marvel has 100% control over the creative side. It's just Sony has to agree with it. So I'm just glad that they're me. I'm not worried about Sony messing the multiverse of the MCU up. I'm worried about them messing Spider-Man up, but. Right. I can't control that too much. What's up, Moochie? How you doing? But Elliot, how you feeling about all this, man? How you feeling?
Yeah, going back to the last article, someone wants to tell a story, and you got to come into a meeting about what rules you can do and what you can't do might limit a creator in regards to a direction they might want to take. But again, it's I guess it's interesting that the meeting is now taking place. I mean, we're already in phase 4. I would have someone actually mentioned in chat, I would have thought this was something that was a meeting that happened years ago, man, which it might have been. I don't know how this article ran. It probably came up just because of the fact that Loki did what it did. And obviously we're getting Spider-Man and Doctor Strange too. So it's good to hear. I'm hoping, I love DC, love them to death. I hope they're having these meetings as well, especially with a big movie like Flash coming out and them resetting their timelines to a certain extent. So I hope that they're having those same type of conversations. But yeah, no, I think it's critical because Larry brings up an amazing point, because again, if they already established that Kang has 20,000 versions of himself when we got multiple Lokis in this show, then that already obviously brings up the question that there are other Captain Americas, there's other Iron Man, there's other T'Challa's out there. So it's just like, okay, where do we stop? Where do we put the limit? Where do we put the sand in the ground that we can't bring everyone back and pluck them from another multiverse and them coming into the mix? So I get that is good that they're at least having those conversations about what we can do, what we can't do, what we won't do. And because the thing about time travel multiverse is the stakes are kind of taken out of the equation, because if you can just bring someone back at any point in time, then that just takes away any thrills and anticipation of the characters being in ruins. So I hope that they do put parameters on it, that they do put rules on it, and I hope that they don't give us like a big exposition dump when it comes to explaining the multiverse when we do explore other characters. So let's see what they got, man. We'll be seeing. We already got it in Loki, and we're going to continue this story in Spider-Man later this year, and see what Doctor Strange. He's going to have to fix this multiverse of madness and see how that comes to be, and how Loki season 2 ties into it.
Since this did stem off from Loki, one of the things that I'm happy about is that Loki was not thrown back into the main 616 universe with our Endgame heroes. Right, that would have pissed me off up to like the high heavens, because it would have just reiterated your point of like, there's no stakes. As soon as somebody dies, they can just come back. As soon I do want this Loki from the show, the 2012 Loki, to eventually get back to like his brother Thor and be like, you will not believe the journey I've been on. I'm a variant, but I don't want that to happen for a while. I do eventually want Iron Man, Tony Stark to come back, Robert Downey Jr., but I don't want that to be for a while. I wouldn't mind if 1 or 2 Avengers movies went down without him still being dead, and then
Right.
him coming back for like Avengers 7. Same thing with Steve Rogers. Let Sam be Captain America for 2 or 3 movies. You know what I'm saying? That would be lovely right there. And they really do need to explain the difference between a universe, a dimension, and a multiverse, because you can have multiple dimensions and levels of dimensions in one universe, but then still have a completely separate universe, and the multiverse covers that. And the Living Tribunal is like, he is the living embodiment of the whole multiverse. I don't want to see him for 10, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? And the last thing that I'm gonna say is and then I'm gonna go back to you, Larry. What was I about to say? One thing about the Loki show, I thought that the TVA was governing the multiverse, but it looks like they was only governing the universe. So I'm gonna need some explainers on that one right there, or some explanations. But anyway, Larry, what you got?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think one of the concerns is is that anytime you start putting rules on people, you run the risk of things becoming very formulaic. And I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that we don't start to see just the same, because there's already people talking about it with Marvel movies. They already talk about how there's a lot of just the typical explosions, people blow up, CGI, explosion, snappy saying, explosion. And I feel like I want to see them take chances and go out there and really do some stuff that makes people say, wait, what? And I think when you put rules in place, sometimes you limit that, because creatives are starting to think, well, I can't go outside these lines, so I'm just going to write them. I'm just going to write something. I'm just going to go ahead and give them what I think they want, instead of giving them the project that they have inside of them.
Was $7.03 super chat. Thank you so much, my brother. I do appreciate it. Yes, working, just listen. I appreciate it, man. This may be an unpopular opinion. I think I said this on your show, Elliot, but I honestly think that all this Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos, and this multiverse, I still think this is way too early to be telling these stories in the MCU. I just do. I don't want to see any of this multiverse, and we don't know what's coming exactly, but multiverse of madness. It could be toned down a bit, but we just got Disney just doubled their characters with the acquisition of the Fox properties, and I want to see Fantastic Four, Inhumans, a bunch of X-Men stories, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Blade, Punisher, Iron Fist. I want to see all, Ghost Rider. I want to see all of these characters before I see a giant multiverse story. You know what I'm saying? Because you do like a big giant multiverse story, and then the Shi'ar and the Kree and the Skrull War and all this. Yeah. Then you're gonna have a neighborhood fight, and Daredevil running up a bridge. I mean, it's like I don't know. Yeah. Am I making any sense?
But the problem is that you own, like, from a production side, you have to move fast, because you only have these actors for so long, because eventually they age out of their character. Like if you're supposed to be, Logan for that's Wolverine, that doesn't get old. Well, we clearly saw that Hugh Jackman got old. And so you only have these guys and these men and women for so long in their current look. I know you're over there shaking your head, but it is what it is. I mean, if something is supposed to happen over the course of 100 years or 50 years or 20 years, and you have these movies that are taking anywhere from 3 to 5 years to get made from script to theater. I mean,
I respectfully disagree, and the reason why is I think that is just a popular thing that people just like to say. Because look at Patrick Stewart, look at Ian McKellen, excuse me. They're 70, 80 years old. Also, you can also hire younger actors and actresses. Tom Holland. Just hire younger people. You don't have to hire, and nobody's going to turn that down if they're the most popular movies in the world. These movies set you up for life. Yeah, and throughout the whole MCU, people and Thor, nobody, like, there have been the original Avengers all have had their shine in phase 1 and phase 2, and then tried to go do other stuff, and it wasn't successful. So why? I mean, there's the proof is in the pudding right there. There's nothing going to top this. And I don't care if somebody's paying me 6 figures plus to work out. You know, they're doing my meal plans and I have a trainer or something like that. I'm not going to whine about going to the gym and, I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. If somebody's paying me $600K, if somebody's paying, somebody's paying me $150. What did they get? Like, at least nobody's gotten paid less than 6 figures for these roles when they're starting out. No, Larry, you're going to complain if somebody gives you a 6-figure check and a trainer and be like, hey, I'm going to pay you this amount of money to work out.
I'm not the first time out
to the world.
I'm not the first time out. But once I get used to that money and that life, things get normalized for you. And you start like look at Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf was supposed to do like 3 other indie movies, and dude went off his rocker. They couldn't work with him. And that's one of those things.
That's an exception. But that's one of those things. Mental. He has some not judgment,
right? But see, that's
right.
But that's part of the problem. Is that when you start working with these actors, especially when you work with younger actors, if you say let's get someone younger, someone who's like 19, 20, so we can work with them for the next 25 years, you don't know what you're getting at that age. But when you get somebody who's a little bit older, somebody who's 28, 30 years old, that has been established, that has an established work history, a good work ethic, you've seen it. Producers know that they show up on time and do their job. Well, yes, you get that work history, but you also get that age that comes along with it. You don't know what you're getting when you go younger. So you make it someone great, but then they flame out after 2 or 3 movies. They're like, I don't want to be a superhero anymore.
How often does that happen, Larry?
That happens a lot. Look at teen actors; they often flame out.
No, I'm talking about that have this genre. In the superhero genre, that get this amount of exposure
because they don't
money.
Get them young. That's why they don't get the superhero people young. They get them old.
Who has clocked out? Name one person.
No one, because they don't get them young. That's my point. They're only getting established people that have actually proven they have a solid work history, and all those people are a little bit older, and that's part of the problem.
Larry, these are no names in the MCU. Didn't nobody know who Chris Hemsworth was? Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. was
drug issues.
Exactly.
Yeah. We don't
Scarlett Johansson. We
don't need to know who they are. Nina Gold and the rest of the casting people in Hollywood need to know who they are. And when they go back and they look and they talk to the producers and they look at what they've done and they say, "Oh, this person's great. This person, they're supposed to be on set. Their call time is 8:00 and they're here at 6:30. Get running lines."
Name one actor or actress since X-Men 2000 that has retired from the roles of a superhero saying, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm exhausted.
I'm not saying that. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they are not choosing people that are doing that. And that in part is because they're only picking people that have established work histories that are a little bit older. When you start talking about having to go young so that you can have these people in these roles for 2 decades, you don't know what you're getting when you go that young. So when they're picking people that are 25 or 30, yes, those people have done 5, 6, 7 movies and they have an established work history. We may not know them because maybe they didn't have the biggest roles or the most significant, or they may not have been the most significant movies, but the Hollywood insiders know who they are and been paying attention. And so they brought them in. And so they get their big role and they have their big glow up, and that's great for them, but they are established inside the industry.
I mean, I love you, man. That sounds great. I just don't see the connection. I'm just saying it makes sense. I see what you're saying. I just don't see how it reflects on the current roster of films that we have. Like I don't
look at Anthony Mackie, right? Look at Anthony Mackie. If you go back and you look at the stuff that he's done before Marvel, he was in a lot of stuff before Marvel.
Okay.
He may not have been he might not have been a household name, but he did plenty of work. And so, but he also came in, he's a little bit older, but he's a little bit different because he's black and black don't crack. So he can look the same age until he's like 60 years old.
You stole my joke. I was just about to say, this is how a bunch of black people, black don't crack. Just,
right.
Go ahead. I mean, I don't know, man.
But that's part of the thing though, man, is that if you're hiring people that are 30 years old that have been out there putting in work in the movies for a little while, and you're like, okay, we know we can depend on this person for the next 20 years. That's great. Except now in 20 years, that person's 50 years old and they're supposed to be playing a 25-year-old, you know?
I got you. David Clintron, $5 best underrated, worst Wesley Snipes movies. I'm going with Passenger 57, Drop Zone, and Blade Trinity. Worst probably Blade Trinity. Best, I haven't seen Passenger 57 or Drop Zone. I'm sorry. Y'all seen those?
I've seen all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's asking which one is the best and which is the worst. The best, his best movie. Gosh, I really like that one that he did with Anthony Hopkins back in the day. I can't remember the name of that movie though.
David, thank you.
To look it up.
I remember.
Yeah, thank you.
But Blade is fantastic. Tu Wong Fu is probably his worst movie.
Oh man, I don't even think I saw that one. So
Tu Wong Fu, thank you very much, Julie Newmar, whatever. Yeah, that was probably his worst movie. I know a lot of people loved it. I didn't like it.
Okay, well, guys, let's go ahead and move.
I forgot about New Jack City. That was dope too.
Well, let's go ahead. Classic. Let's go ahead and move on to the sixth topic of the day. And I'm coming to you first, Elliot. I got this article right here from Cinema Blend. Black Adam has wrapped. See Dwayne Johnson's speech from the set. And again, guys, if you're reading this in the live or in the replay, there is a link down to this article down in the description box below for you to read at your own leisure. And it just goes on to say, he had a speech on set. Dwayne Johnson waited a long time to play Black Adam, with his connection to the role going back long before the DC Extended Universe was a thing. Then this past April, the Black Adam movie finally started shooting, giving Johnson his opportunity to suit up and jump into the superhero genre. 3 months later, Black Adam has wrapped principal photography, and The Rock commemorated the occasion by giving a heartfelt speech from the set. And I have it right here on Instagram. I'm not going to play the whole 3 minutes, but I do have it right here. Honored and proud to say that as an official wrap on Black Adam, I knew many years ago the opportunity to make Black Adam would be once in a career event. It has been my true honor to go shoulder to shoulder with over 1,000 brilliant and hungry crew of filmmakers and storytellers to bring the anti-hero known as Black Adam to life. This has been one of the ages, and this has been one for the ages, and easily the hardest labor and toughest grind mentally and physically of my career. Worth every second. Love you all. Thank you all. And I'll see you down the road. Now go have some fun with that $10,000. The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change. Black Adam. And that is on his Instagram. That $10,000 he's talking about is just for fun. He wanted to divvy up 10,000, like split it among 3 people on the crew. But Alien, I'm coming to you, man. How are you excited for Black Adam? The Rock? I am. How you feeling about this, man? Filming has wrapped. It's actually done. So that means that we're going to get a film. Tell us how you feel.
If you smell. No, listen, man. Me and Dwayne The Rock Johnson go back, man. This was when I was big into wrestling. He was the most entertaining man in Hollywood. And this actually kind of goes back to the last article. No ageism here. I love The Rock. The man is a superhero in real life. He's built like a superhero. He's 49 years old, which is in this role of Black Adam, the where he's coming from in the DC universe, coming over, being the big bad. As Larry brought up, I hope that they're setting things up for The Rock to be able to be in a Shazam 3 or a Black Adam 2, Justice League, because he's getting up there in age. But nonetheless, taking the age out of it, I am so excited for this film. I think this will be the best action that we've seen in the DC universe so far. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Seeing the JSA for the first time on the big screen, Dr. Fate, what we're getting with Atomic or the Atom character. Smasher. Yeah, Atom Smasher, seeing Hawkman. Mm-hmm. It's going to be all, the casting of the man Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate is going to be incredible. So I really have a lot of marbles in this movie. And The Rock, as you just read in the article, he has been preparing this role for almost 10 years. He has been prepping this role. He's been hyping this role up. He's been so involved in the creation of the film. The man has worked out like I've never seen before. I don't know how he went from this big buffy dude to kind of slimming down and still being cut. And I mean, and I'm just so excited for this film, man. I can't wait for the trailer at DC Fandom in a couple months. I think this will turn the DC on its head in a good way. I think this is going to be a fantastic film, and The Rock is he's going to kick some jabronis' asses in this film, and I can't wait to see what he does to Zachary Levi. I'm sorry, Shazam. He has no chance to go against The Rock physically. Charismatically, I don't know how they might have to recast him to go against Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but I'm really excited for this, man.
Right on. I love to hear that. D Weave, Giving you that shout out. The Rock should be in the MCU too. Money Train is a sleeper. Wesley Snipes joint. A lot of people say that, man. But DV, thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. And guys, I mean, I don't want to like bore y'all to death with me playing little clips and stuff. So if you do a super chat and you want me to play something, just request it, and I'm gonna probably do it like that from here on out. But Larry, how you feeling about this, man? With the Rock or the Black Adam is rap filming for his movie.
I know you guys gonna hate me for this, man. But
oh no,
you guys gonna hate me for this. I said this earlier when they first started talking about The Rock being Black Adam. I'm not excited for this.
Wow.
Because I'll tell you, because Black Adam's supposed to be black. He's supposed to be an ancient Egyptian. He's supposed to be a black dude. The Rock never represents his black heritage. He always represents his island, like his South Pacific heritage. He never talks about any of the black stuff from his father's side. And now all of a sudden, yeah, his dad's black. I don't know. The Rock is black. The Rock is his mom is like his mom is, I forgot, whatever, she's from some island in South Pacific, and his dad is black.
Yeah.
And he never represents that side of his culture. He's always representing the sort of island side, the whole South Pacific side. And then here he is. He wants to go play one of the few black superheroes that we have. So, I mean, no, I'm not there for him with this. I like The Rock. I'm cool with the movies that he's made. I'm fine when he's playing in. I'm fine when he's playing in Fast and Furious and his skyscraper movies and all that. I'm not here for him with this. So I think this movie I think this role should have gone to someone else. Either that, or he needs to stop representing the other side of his culture. There's a lot of people out here, Rock, if you're watching, there's a lot of us out here who have supported you through the years. A lot of people that look like your dad looked, and you don't give us any love. So, I mean, when we turn on TVs and movies and we see you out there, your leading ladies are always something other than black. They're always some random white chick or something.
Now I'm trying to bring up these pictures real quick because I have a question to ask you, because I could be ignorant in knowing this, but I never knew Black Adam to be a black man.
Yeah, man, he's supposed to be an ancient Egyptian, and Egyptians are black. Ancient Egyptians were more of what people think of as black people today.
Are all Egyptians black?
Yeah, they're all African. But in ancient, this is the thing. When people think of Egyptians, they think of Egyptians today, which have more of a fair skinned sort of Arab, Middle Eastern sort of look. Mm-hmm. But ancient Egyptians did not look like that.
I'm just saying, just
ancient because Egyptians look like you and me.
Just because you're African doesn't mean you're black.
What I'm saying is he's supposed to be an ancient Egyptian. Ancient Egyptians looked like you and me.
I don't know. Excuse me. The first time I learned about Black Adam, honestly, was in 2000. It was 11 years ago in 2010 when those DC animated short films came out. Elliot, you probably have seen it. It was a DC animated film. It was 4 short films. One of them was Superman versus Shazam and Black Adam. Yep. One of them was Spectre. The other one was
Right,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
So, and he looked like this to me, and I just never thought of him as a black dude. I just, he could have been black. This is when I first learned of the character. I thought he was white or brown, and so this whole time I thought the casting was perfect.
That's why we have to deprogram each other.
Okay.
Yeah, I always thought he was like Arabic or something like that with the mixture of the character, but yeah.
Well, that sucks, Larry. I mean, I'm still excited about it, but
I'm gonna watch. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm not gonna watch the movie, but I just, I've had this issue with The Rock for a long time. I like the dude's characters that he plays. I think he seems like a decent, charismatic dude. I think he has some right-wing tendencies going on when he starts talking about politics. I wish he would just keep to himself.
Right. I'll give you that. But
I really get frustrated when, and this is just one of those things I have. I get frustrated when black people who are mixed with something else don't give proper representation to their black side. I hear so many times people say, "Oh, well, I'm German and Jewish and Scandinavian, and then I have some Japanese and some Filipino on my mom's side. Oh, and I'm black. But they look exactly like me. They're going to name off all these different heritages and ethnicities, but they look like me, and then they're going to throw in at the end, oh, and I'm black.
I got you, man.
I'm like, come on, man. Represent. You can. No one's telling you not to represent that Samoan culture. People saying Samoan. No one's saying not to represent your Samoan culture. Just don't only represent that side of you.
Well, I will give it to you. I do agree that he does not represent his black side. Frankly, bro, I didn't even like put that together. You know what I'm saying, that he was black. Like, I never really recognized him of that. And maybe, I don't know, maybe y'all just was tripping this whole time. Who knows? But I'll definitely look into that more because you said it. And so thank you for bringing that to my attention. Real talk.
And I want to point out, Lady Hotep was saying, I don't give an F about
Hotep. Lady Hotep.
Lady Hotep was saying, I don't give a F about actors' politics. I generally don't care about actors' politics either. What I do care about is the fact that they carry a great amount of influence. And so when they come out and they have these wild ass ideas, and they have these political ideals that are far off to one direction or the other, they bring a lot of people along with them when they start espousing these crazy ideals. And so, yes, in that sense, I do care about what they think and what they say because they have a lot of influence.
That's not fair. Because what if it was a black actor that came out and was saying a bunch of political stuff that you do agree with? You would be cheering it.
I would fully expect that the people that are politically opposed to me would also say, I don't like it.
Okay. Well, that's fair then. I'll take it back. If that's fair. I'll give you that. Cool. I'll give you that. We got 2 more topics left, guys. And so let's go ahead and move on so I can get these kids to bed. This scares the hell out of me because I like this character so much, and I just think that Sony is just jacking this up. Who's next? Is it Larry? You next? But I think this, okay, later. We're going to the 7th topic right here, man. I got this article from Screen Rant. Spider-Man's No Way Home suit has Doctor Strange-style web powers. God, dog. I thought his name was Spider-Man, man. Anyway, if you're reading this, if you're watching this on the live,
he's Dr. Spider-Man now.
If you're watching this on the live or the replay, there is a link down to this article down in the description box for you to read at your own leisure. Spider-Man's No Way Home suit has Doctor Strange-style web powers. Hot Toys unveils a new figure for Spider-Man No Way Home, teasing a super suit with Doctor Strange-style web powers for the titular hero. That looks retarded. Hot Toys, like, I don't even feel like reading this no more. Y'all can read it if you want to. I'm just gonna say this. Look, Spider-Man is the reason why Spider-Man is so raw is because he's strong, he can fight, he's cool, and he's a genius himself. In the comics, he made his own suits, he made his own web shooters. And what I love Spider-Man, one of my favorite characters of all time, I never can really get excited because Sony always like scares the crap out of me. Ever since his debut in Civil War, he has not done anything on his own. He's always had the help of somebody else. He had the help of with his suit and all that. Captain America Civil War with Tony Stark. Same thing with Infinity War. With him with the Spidey suit thing or whatever, and with the what I'm trying to say, the Iron Spider suit. And then now he has a Doctor Strange suit. In the third movie, like, what can we just have Spider-Man be Spider-Man and not get help from anybody else? That's all I want.
Why don't you want Spider-Man to be elevated, man? Why don't you want him to elevate his consciousness to the point where he's now on level with Doctor Strange?
Spider-Man is intelligent enough to do the stuff on his own and figure stuff out. And the last movie,
I'm playing devil's advocate, bro. I'm just
yeah. Anyway, Elliot,
yeah, man,
I need my high blood pressure up. What, Elliot? How you feeling about this, man? Look at this. Is still hold on. What a picture at? What a picture at? Where we at? What is this?
That's dope, though, man.
No, it is not. This is dumb. You gonna shoot in web magic?
He's got a little multiverse right in his chest right there. He can draw off of.
That looks stupid.
He's got a little It was like that, like how they showed the liquid vibranium. He showed the multiverse and stuff. He's got one right there in his chest. He can draw on all that power.
He's gonna shoot in web portals.
Yep.
Anyway,
exactly.
That's exactly what he's gonna do.
Right,
Elliot,
if he doesn't even like somebody, he just shoots them and sends them to another verse, another universe.
I understand they're trying to
multiverse.
sell toys and stuff, man. I get it, but damn, man, this is I hate when merchandise gets in the way of storytelling. Elliot, tell us how you feel, man. How you feel?
Yeah, I go back to when Tom Holland and Sony and Marvel agreed to use the characters that they said they're I don't know the quote that Kevin Feige gave, but they said we would see Spider-Man do things we've never seen him do before.
Oh Lord!
And the Spider-Man's gonna be playing with characters that he's never been able to play with on the big screen. Love it or hate it, Brandon, but this is what Marvel and Sony are giving the people. You want to see we've never seen Spider-Man travel through multiverses, except for obviously Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, but on the live action big scale, we've never seen Spider-Man interact with a Tony Stark, a Captain America, obviously his relationship he's going to have with Doctor Strange. So they're living it up, man, because they're on time, right? They're on a ticking time, because I think eventually Sony's going to take the character back. I know they re-upped the deal and all that stuff, but eventually he will go back to Sony and the Venom verse and all the stuff they're building with him to prep that world. But listen, man, they're throwing everything at us. Suits from the multiverse, suits from Iron Man. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a suit from T'Challa or the Black Panthers or in that universe. So they're just literally saying, hey, what can we do with Spider-Man that you've never seen before? Well, we're going to give him a and keep in mind too, this might just be literally a toy that we might not even see in the film. But chances are that it might come up. But man, the suit looks crazy. It looks weird. And I'm with you, Brandon, in regards to give Spider-Man just a Spider-Man story, but that's not what they're giving him in the MCU. They're giving him the world-ending Avengers type of stories, multiversal stories, and that's where it's at, man.
If you think that's bad, B, just wait till you get to the next story when they make Venom a vegan.
That's funny.
They're gonna have him working it. They're gonna have him tending his vegetable garden.
Man, Larry, what you think of this, man? This is stupid. I don't like it, man. I don't like it. But what you think?
I think they're trying to sell toys, man. Yeah. I think they're about their merchandising, and they're gonna sell some toys. And I mean, anything's possible, I mean, they could have an entire Spider-Man spinoff where it's all just him and some like spider, like they already did this the whole thing with the Spider-Verse and Miles Morales. They could do a live action joint like that. Mm-hmm. This could be a Spider-Man from a whole different verse, a whole different part of the multiverse. And so it may not affect what we think of as our Spider-Man. This is just a different dude, So I'm down for the Porky Pig Spider-Man. I don't know when they're coming up with that one.
Yeah, we definitely moving on to the next topic with that right there. Vegan Venom. That's
I guess Brandon and Larry, do you guys like Tom Holland Spider-Man?
Yeah,
like
I like him.
Mm-hmm.
I like him.
He's cool.
I just want him to have
story, his own story.
And the stories ain't bad. It's just like, first of all, we haven't seen Spider-Man swing from buildings at all, really. So far in MCU,
a little bit.
The first film, he was instead of swinging from buildings, he wanted to drive a car. That was dumb. I didn't like that. I mean, we've seen Infinity War and Endgame. The only time he swung from buildings was at the very end of Far From Home. That was one of the best scenes for me. And I mean, just basic stuff. Just give me a Spider-Man movie, him being smart and him figuring it out on his own. Just give me one, and we haven't got that yet. It's like they don't have faith in the character. It's very annoying to me, but anyway, this looks like a piece of trash, and but we'll see how the movie ends up turning out or whatever. But let's go ahead and move on to this final topic of the day. Yes, we got some more toxic fans that are butthurt because things just don't turn out their way, and they're disgusting, and they just need to be thwarted from every which way. Got this report right here. The final topic of the day: Black Widow writer gets hate. Black Widow writer is getting hate mail for Taskmaster twist. I mean, my goodness, I was disappointed too, but it ain't that serious, y'all. It ain't that serious. And guys, if you're watching this in the live or on the replay, there's a link down to this article down in the description box below for you to read at your own leisure. And please let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. But Larry, I'm coming to you first. And it says Black Widow finally hits theaters and Disney Plus premiere access this last week. and it's been pretty successful. Just goes on to say that people were not really a fan of the twist that, you know, this was not a Tony Masters. It was Dreykov's daughter, spoilers for Black Widow, that ended up being the Taskmaster villain of the film. And so the writer of this unfortunately got some ugly mail. And I got this first quote right here. I got one. I made the mistake of looking in direct messages requests, and someone says, I can't read that because of my logo to be out of line, but Taskmaster was the biggest betrayal of my life. I got mad for a second. Then I was like, well, you've had a pretty good life then. And if that's the worst thing that's ever happened to you, then you should be psyched because someone in a movie wasn't who you wanted them to be, Pearson shared. Taskmaster was going to be involved, and there was versions before I came to that was Tony Masters, Pearson explained. I kept thinking, I was like, can this guy somehow not be a goon because Dreykov in the Red Room is a thing that tied into Natasha's personally and her past of giant nefarious that, as we learn, the spy station that is circling the globe in this atmosphere. Why is this guy like, why is there this guy? Why would this guy be an arm of them? That's what I kept saying to be. Trust me, I look very, very far for how we got to this Tony Masters guy, believability, being an agent of the Red Room, and then just learn more towards other things were making sense. Other parts of the puzzle were adding up. I think I butchered that quote, but that's okay. My thing after all that, it's like, why even put him in the movie then if you're gonna do all of that? But anyway, and I chose this topic before actually reading the article, and it says hate mail, and I'm like, you only got one direct message, you know? Like, okay, I thought they threatened your life. But anyway, Larry, how you feeling about all this, man?
Man, when I saw this, I thought to myself, somebody summed it up in the comments. They said the incels are pissed, and and that is kind of it. It's like there's a whole bunch of people that just have nothing better to do with their lives, and they get upset about the silliest things, talking about they've never felt so betrayed. I was thinking to myself, wow, you really have a fantastic life. Yeah. If this is the most extreme level of betrayal you've ever experienced, then good on you and your parents for raising you in a bubble. Well, maybe not good on them for raising you in a bubble, but I mean, you obviously have never experienced any real betrayal. I just think when you look at Black Widow and all the issues that one could have with that movie, they chose that to really be upset about. Just like, there are other things to be upset about besides that. Like, we just really didn't get to see what happened to her in the Red Room. We have a standalone movie, and I don't feel like we really got any good background on her. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like they just sort of jumped in, got her sister, did a prison break, had a family reunion at a cabin in the woods.
Side mission.
Yeah, it's like the movie about her. Yeah. Tell us about her. And it's just like no one even wants to talk about that. Like, we didn't really get to see her. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Black Widow sucked. I'm not saying that, because the action was fantastic, but the story kind of sucked. You know, the story was not that great. And I'm not even gonna spend energy thinking about what cameo popped up or didn't pop up, or who didn't do enough with whatever cameo. Forget about the cameos. They should have just given us more Black Widow. You know, I mean, this whole movie, I mean, I ended up caring more about, you know, her sister than her, because they spent more character. They gave us more character development on the sister, which is, I guess, what they wanted, since they were going to kill off Natasha anyways and let her sister sort of take over. But damn, if you're going to kill the character off, at least give us everything we wanted with her before you take her out. You know?
Yeah.
Elliot, what you think, man?
Yeah, no, I mean, male or female, with the Taskmaster reveal, the character was poorly executed, in my opinion. Even taking away my fandom of the character in the comics is just, like you mentioned, I honestly don't know why the Taskmaster was really in the film at all. They literally had no speaking. The actress that played the Taskmaster had, I think, one line the entire film, and was only in, 2-3 scenes, or maybe 4 scenes if you include the chase sequence. But I don't really understand. Now, being all that said, hate mail is stupid. You know, who cares? Right. If you don't like a character, why are you? That really shows you, you know, a level of hate. You're writing a letter to send. That's old school there. But putting that aside, in regards to just the character itself, I thought it was a waste of character. I don't even know if we'll ever even see his character again in the MCU based on the film, how the character ended, snapped out of its mind control. And I don't know why would they go back to being a villain or anti-villain based on, you know, how the film ended. But like I said, this based on the topic at hand, the writer getting one letter, hate mail, is stupid. It's a waste of time, and you can do something better with your use of time. But I wasn't a fan of the character, though. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was the weakest part, one of the weakest elements of the film.
Yeah, and like I said, the hate mail is stupid as hell. That's just ridiculous. That shouldn't take place at all. But I was saying to myself that it just shouldn't have been in the movie at all. I don't understand that. Marvel knows better, with the Mandarin that happened with Iron Man 3, that they shouldn't be doing things like this. But most importantly, that, like, I wish that we could track, when people do stuff like this and put them in jail, put them in prison or something.
Why?
No, man, like,
it's Come on, man, it's not that serious.
Put them in trouble jail.
Yeah, or something, man. Just I don't know. Maybe prison is
a fine, maybe a fine.
No. If you're threatening somebody's life, like, I'm going to kill you and do this and that, then
you're talking about the people that are threatened. I thought you were saying when the producers who put out these random cameos. That's what I was saying. Come on, man. I agree with you. The people threatening on the keyboard warriors, there needs to be some there needs to be some consequences.
Yes, definitely. One sec. Thought my phone was plugged up and I got 4% here, but yeah, that's horrible. It's not as bad as Rupert. Was it Rupert Wyatt? Is that his name that got the death threats and stuff? I don't think it was as bad as that, but I don't condone this at all. That's ridiculous right there. So no hate mail. You'll get. I'm not worried about it because I was going into this movie with my expectations super low for Taskmaster. So again, I think I told you that, Elliot. I wasn't disappointed, and we can still. And I have high because we can still get another Taskmaster. Okay, we can still have Tony Masters or whatever his name is come later on in the MCU easily. And so we can just say that Dreykov heard about the real Tony Masters and wanted to mimic his. He wanted that power and created a computerized version of it and put in this.
What did Loki show us is a variant version of
So it's all good. But guys, that right there is the last topic. What's up, Larry?
I just have since I was thinking about this whole multiverse thing, I just have a question that's off topic a bit, but since you could bring characters back in from other multiverses, does that mean that Deadpool can get his wife back? And if he does, is he still going to have the same sort of ferocity to do what he does?
Mm-hmm.
Well, didn't Deadpool 2, he brought her back. Then he went back in time. He got Cable's time travel and brought Vanessa back, or fixed all the stuff from the film and the post credits.
I don't even remember Deadpool 2.
Yeah, it was sort of he did, but yeah, I'm not clear. I know because that was like at the very end where they went through it very, very quickly. And it was unclear if she's actually back. So,
no, but I think to your point, though, Larry, I think that what Loki did, it will open up the portal for Deadpool and the X-Men. I think that's how they're going to explain where X-Men have been this whole time, where the Fantastic Four has been the whole time. They've been on another multiverse. So,
well, yeah. So that does conclude. That's the last topic, but I may bring up one more. Elliot, if you have to bounce, I completely understand. I'm gonna try to get maybe another 10 or 15 minutes. You sure? Okay.
Let's do it.
Larry, do you have time to do a little power recap of episode 1?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Cool. Well, that's what I've been kind of preparing.
Do you watch Power, Elliot?
I don't, so I'm gonna listen in. We'll be in
all right.
This is a good play. This is a good time to get started, man.
Because
I
didn't get a chance to do my little thing this morning by myself, and I was gonna do a breakdown. As soon as I cut off the camera, I was going to do a recap of it. And so I can just do it now. My initial thoughts, I can just do it now and chop this out. So, guys, that will conclude the Movie News Roundup show for today. But if you do want to stick around to hear me and Larry talk about the first episode of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, stay tuned. But we will be talking spoilers. It is not going to be a full breakdown because, I want to watch it again and have some more images and stuff like that. So I'm just letting you know, guys, we got 178 people watching right now. So thank you so much. Let's see if we can get to 200. I got 153 thumbs up. Let's see if we get. Let's see if we can get 200 thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up for my birthday tomorrow. I would appreciate it. Man. But Mara Sharice, you got to get on it. She don't know nothing about power, but
I'm right there with you. I've never seen an episode.
This is the third. You need to get on it, bro. Get on it.
There's a power verse. There's a power universe. Everyone has a universe now.
Power multiverse.
They have Power Book 2, Power Book 3. They have a couple more. They have the Tommy version that's cut. They have like 5 things already lined up.
Right. So Larry, so when it comes to the first show, I was late to the party. I didn't start watching Power to season 5, and I binged it all the way through. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people did not like Tariq. He was an asshole character in the first Power series, but in Power Book 2, he came through and redeemed himself, becoming a more likable character. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Power Book 3, we know we got our boy Kanan,
right,
who was played by 50 Cent. But we know that this is his origin story. Okay,
this is supposedly semi-autobiographical with his life. So
really,
yeah,
that makes me even more interested. And so my expectations for this show have been medium. I don't want to say that I've been super duper excited about it, but I wasn't dreading it either. I think I may at one point have been looking forward to the show the least, but watching just the marketing material, hearing you and Lamont talk about it on your channel, I did get more and more excited about it. And when it came closer to release, I was saying to myself, I am actually looking forward to this. This looks like it has a lot of promise, and I'm pretty excited about it. And so I woke up early this morning, right? And I saw the episode, and I can have to be honest with you, I really did like it. I really did enjoy it thoroughly. I thought the acting was great. And one of the things that I love the most out of the show so far is the narration by 50 Cent, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. I hate to spoil things for you here, but we all know that he died. His character died in the first Power series. Right. So this is kind of a prequel. But I like at the very beginning of the show is just talking about how y'all know how my story ended. Now we're going to talk about how my story began. And then at the end of this first episode, he goes on to say, now you know how my story ended, you know how my story started, and now the rest of the story is everything in the middle. And so, first of all, I love the narration by 50 Cent Jackson. I love the acting of the show. And what I also love is it started in 1985, and then, showing him at a very young age. He's, a preteen. His mom, played by, what is her name? Patina Miller. Miller. She's a great actress. I don't know who she is right here. I don't know much of her, but she is on my radar right now. I think she did a great job.
She's Madam Secretary, The Hunger Games, and other good ones.
Oh, I didn't know that, bro. I didn't know that. Yeah. And she did a great job. I was watching you and Lamont the other day talking about this, and y'all were saying that you were saying that you don't think that the show is going to focus on Kanan that much. He's going to be a secondary character in his own show, and that somebody else is going to come through with all the shine. I think that's where Patina Miller is coming from right here. I love her performance in 85 when she was like, Kanan, what's wrong with you, Kanan? Why are you crying? Oh, I got my money stolen. Why did you show it to him? Or you was telling them, and then she put the Legos in the sock. Go out there, son.
Batteries. There were batteries.
There were batteries. Okay. You're either going to deal with me or you're going to deal with, them over there. And she made her son go over there and get the respect on the street. I love that. I've been kind of rambling on, but I want to pass to you. How do you feel about all that, man? And also your first impressions of this first episode so far, especially with Patina Miller.
Yeah, I thought much of the acting was really, really fantastic. I love Patina Miller. I think everything she's in is pretty wonderful. That scene that you were talking about, that was just brutal because he was up there, and you could tell looking at that scene, the dude was a little bit of a knucklehead in the sense where he was a tough dude. He didn't want to back down, but he was just overwhelmed. That dude was whooping him up, and he ran home. His mom put some batteries in his sock, took him back up to the park, and said, "You're either going to deal with them or you're going to deal with me, and there's nowhere to run if you have to deal with me back home." And so he felt like he was better off dealing with those two dudes, and he went and whooped them up. And he said, "I'll beat those two dudes down. I've been making a name for myself since that day, and it's moved on every day forward and never stopped." And so You know, it's funny the things that you said, and maybe I'll catch up later. But you were saying how you really liked 50 Cent's narration. I actually didn't like it.
Really?
I was watching it and I was like, it was pulling me out. I felt like it was pulling me out of the story when I was, and I don't know if it was because it was him and I'm so familiar with his voice and his cadence and everything. I don't know if it was that or if it was just the narration itself, but I felt like the narration was pulling me out of the story and I wanted to just watch the story. And I felt like during the second half of the episode, there was a lot less narration and it flowed a lot better for me.
But Ellie, let me bring you in here. Imagine, man, you know, you're in junior high, right? And you got, you know, maybe 50, 75, a few $100s on you, right?
Right.
And you get beat up and the kids steal your money. You know, you go home, you're bloody, you're crying. Your mom was like, what's up? What's going on? I got drunk, mom. She's like, no, I'm not having my baby get drunk. So she gets a sock and fills it up with batteries. And she gives it to you, but like she takes you backwater bullets, beat you up and like, look, you either gonna deal with me or you're gonna deal with them. And she makes you, your mom makes you go over there and beat the bullies and get your money back. That's how the show started off, or whatever.
Yeah.
And what's great about it is, you know who 50 Cent is. You know he has a hard exterior. You know he's somebody that has a nice physical and presence. Ain't nobody just gonna run up on him and swing. That wouldn't be a good idea. You know what I'm saying? So what I like, and that's how he, you know, that's how he is in real life. That's how he was in the original show Power. But this is the origin story, and he's like, you know, kind of a cupcake, and that's what's making the show so intriguing. Is like we know how he ended up, but you know he's so soft now, and it's like, wow, I'm so excited now because I get to see the journey, you know, of his growth of his character. How he became, you know, the Marshmallow Man to this hard exterior 50 Cent that we know. So that's already bringing me in. He also has this cousin by the name of Jukebox, who, and when she grows up, she was pretty hard as well. Just not a good person in my opinion.
She was a cop.
Yeah, she
became a cop in DC.
Yeah, she became a cop in DC. She just wasn't a good person. She was crooked. Or we get to see her origin in high school too. She was a nice little innocent girl that, like, you know, there's either lesbian or bisexual, hooking up with this white girl, you know, singing in the choir. But we never met her this way. We met her in the original show. She was just some hard ass, you know, badass cop that's crooked and just, you know, offering people left and right for no reason. So that I am really excited so far to see how they go from A to Z or whatever, you know, with their characters. And one of the things I always liked about the show is it does it's nothing but, you know, drugs and violence and sex, right? And a lot of people have faded away from the show because they say it's not a good narrative for Black people. You know, we shouldn't be promoting this type of lifestyle. I like it because the lesson that it teaches you is that, like, hey, if you do, in the Power Book 1 and Power Book 2, it teaches you that if you live this lifestyle, you're either going to end up dead or in jail. And that has been the case in both series. And because in both books, every character is either ended up dead, in jail, or I lost everything and had to run. And so one of the things I like about this is we know how 50 Cent's character ends up. He ends up dead. But I like in this episode that they showed that his mom cared about his education, did not want her son involved in that type of mess. He was a smart student, had an access to go to this elite high school that could have made him be a CEO in some Fortune 500 company, yada yada. But in this episode, he purposely failed the test so he can stick with his mom and run drugs with her. And, you know, that's where when you come to that fork in the road, you can either go left or right and your life ends up. And so we get to see that origin right there because Kanan, he ends up being a despicable character as well. And so I like that we're getting that intro right there too. He's also too big for his britches, man. His mom made a deal with another drug lord, like, hey, I'm gonna take these corners, you can take these corners right here. Kanan not knowing,
by the way, I mean, is his dad involved at all?
No, his dad dead. I think his dad was killed. His dad was also in the game, and then I think his dad was killed.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but his mom right here, Patina Miller, man, she's holding it down. You know, she's doing everything that she can, and I love her character so far. You know, trying to teach him the ropes. Go ahead, Larry, with what you was about to say.
So one of my problems that I have with this show is that, I mean, when we see him at that age right there, and most of this episode, what we see him at is 15. So we see him the very first scene, he's like a preteen. Then we see him here, he's 15, he's in high school. And there's a scene where he goes and he doesn't realize his mom had worked out a deal with a rival drug dealer, and they split up the blocks. And so he thinks that this rival gang is selling on their turf. So he goes over there with his boys and they go shoot this block up. And they say in the show, in the moment, this is the first time I've ever pulled my gun on somebody. I've ever pointed and then he shoots this dude up. The kid's dead. He kills him. And then it's like he goes home and he's just like living his life. Like it's no big deal. He just sort of goes back to whatever he's doing, and he's fussing with his mom about living with his grandma, and then he goes back to school the next. It's like, I mean, I don't know too many people, even the most hardened dudes out there talk about that first body that they ever had sticks with them. The first time that they kill somebody sticks with them. And they just made it seem like he was just, you know, like he was just doing a regular old day, just a regular task, you know.
Really?
Just went and blasted somebody, then he went home. Did you see any real emotion, like he was distraught by it?
Because when he was hanging over the body, he started, you know, because the dude grabbed him and he was distraught. He had to run out of there because the cops were coming.
Well, he had to run because the cops were coming. He looked at the dude. The guy was trying to say something. He said, "Is he trying to say something? He's trying to say something." And then he went over to him. But then, like when he went home, it was like nothing was big. It was like no big deal. I was like, come on, this kid's 15 years old. He just blasted somebody, and we're supposed to believe that he doesn't have any, there's no emotional, mental repercussions at all. He's just going about his day.
I don't think he was going about his day, though. He was in the living room and he was getting reprimanded by his mom because he was like, I'm grown, I can do what I want and stuff like that. Remember, he was shaking before and after, you know, he killed the guy. I mean, maybe that happened off screen.
I didn't see it. I didn't feel it.
Oh, okay. I mean, I did. I thought it was effective. Excuse me. It was just heartbreaking that it seemed like his mother was only in that lifestyle because she had absolutely no choice. You know, life isn't fair. We all know that. You know, some people are born with a silver spoon. You know, you get it. It seems like she had no choice, and there was no escape. And she was doing the right things to get her son out of this life, but you know, just things are out of her control, you know. And by the end of the episode, you know, she brought him in because she was like, he's going to do what he wants to do. But I like how badass she was. She was not playing no games, man, because Larry, how do you feel about the dog in the microwave? And
I was just thinking about that. I was like, they're going to have all kinds of issues with PETA, boy.
Hold on. Did you say a dog in the microwave?
Yes,
yeah.
So let me break it down. So, you know, they're trying to get their weight up or whatever and distribute it through different channels in the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
So she makes a deal with a local manager at a club. They go in there to meet, you know, but the club owner isn't there. One of his assistants is there, and it's a white woman with a dog. And you know, already there's kind of some tension right there. You know, a lot of women don't like each other anyway. Yeah. Whatever. So they're kind of beefing, like, oh, I'm the big, you know, I'm big, the shot over here, and and he's like, we don't need your ghetto cracking here or whatever. It's all broken down and low grade. We're gonna go with my distributor. And they're like, she's like, who are you, bitch? And they cussing each other out. And I ain't no scared white girl, you know, you ain't gonna be talking to me like that. So, you know, Patina, you know, this chick right here, Kane's mom, was like, oh, okay. So what she did is she gets one of her, you know, her henchmen that works for her under her. And while the white woman is having sex in her room, and it's a nice little sex scene or whatever, it was getting it in, somebody sneaks into her apartment, puts her dog in the microwave and cuts it on high. So right in the middle of their sex session, she's like, what the F is that smell? The guy's like, what we stopping for? So she goes, hey, little Sparky, where you at? Did you go a little boo-boo? And at first I'm thinking, like, are you talking about your child? Like, why are you smashing this much in your little girl? in the other room,
Yeah,
but she's talking about her
it
dog,
looked
man.
terrible.
She goes in there, opens up the microwave, bro. Her dog is in there, burnt up in the microwave, and that was her way of sending a message. Like, no, don't be trying to F with me talking about my crack or my drugs.
It looked horrible too, man.
Yeah.
It looked like a Mogwai turned into a gremlin. It looked horrible. It was just wow.
It was pretty bad, and so
I gotta hug my dog now, man. That makes me dogs in the microwave.
And your dog is not dissimilar from the one they put in the microwave.
Oh, really? It's a little Pomeranian. He's a Pomeranian.
Different color, but the same type of dog.
Right. So, Larry, how you feel about all that, man? The dog in the microwave and all that.
That was pretty brutal.
Yeah, that
was pretty gruesome. But I think she made her point.
She did.
She definitely made her point. You know, I hope that this show gets better. And I think part of the problem is that when I went into, you know, I've watched Power all the way through. I started watching Power years ago before Lamont and I were talking about it on the show. And then I had very, very low expectations for Power Book 2, Ghost. And it turned out to be fantastic. So I was basically just like, okay, these people are doing the damn thing. These writers in the writers' room are getting it in. So I had pretty high expectations for this going in, and I think my expectations were too high.
Really?
And so I think I don't think it's a bad show. I left this episode feeling very underwhelmed, and so I think I just need to temper my expectations a bit and then revisit it, you know, with lower expectations.
Now, how you feel about this character right here?
Well, you got my man Omar Epps in the movie.
Yeah, he popped up in here too. How you feeling about him so far, Larry?
I kind of felt like it wasn't like his character was bad in here. I just felt like they sort of dropped him in at the end, and I think they were trying to make like this meaningful intro they tried to make this like meaningful entry of him into the story, and I feel like they probably should have done that at the first. Like they should have ended this episode with like the shootout with Kanan getting shot at in front of his house. That's where they should have ended this episode. Like, because it could have just been where, you know, Kanan, because they showed the end of the show was like Kanan was on the ground. You know,
I'm loving the conversation.
Right. Kanan was somebody did a drive-by on their house. Kanan was, you know, jumped on the ground. So he was on the ground. His mom was shooting back at the car. We don't know if Kanan had been shot or not. And that's where they should have ended that episode right there. Just cut it. We are left like, oh damn, did dude get shot? And that because we all know from if this is so supposedly sort of you know, semi-autobiographical, we know that 50 Cent's been shot like 9 times, you know. So this could have been one of those things where like, oh, is this one of the times he got shot? Well, we wouldn't have known, but they didn't. Instead, they brought in dude, and I think it just would have been much more impactful if like the first scene of the next episode would have been the introduction of him, you know. Instead, it was just sort of a throw in at the last, you know, 3-4 minutes of the episode.
Well, I'll go ahead and say that it didn't leave his mark for me. This was, I mean, I like all my Epps, but his little intro scene was kind of weak to me.
And he came in with like some cheesy one-liner too.
Yeah, it just wasn't that effective. So they could have had a little better intro. But
does his character have the juice?
Huh?
Does his character have the juice?
I love it. He did not. He did not have the juice. Okay. He did not have. I'll ask you that off camera. You don't got to answer that on camera. But yeah, guys, Power. I'm going to be doing episode recaps and breakdowns of this show each week. I may bring in certain guests. I may do it by myself. I don't know, but I really did enjoy episode 1. I really did, and I definitely will be back for episode 2. You scared the hell out of me, bro. God dang. Oh my God.
See?
Oh my God. Hold on. My goodness gracious.
money reside? What a money reside? What a money reside? What a money reside?
God damn. I had to play
That's
them
power
all.
right there. That's a
That'll
power.
be $100. Y'all all please keep this show going. One of the best shows streaming. Keep the content going. Yes, I definitely will. Thank you so much. Oh,
yeah.
My goodness. I know. Woo. I know. Wow. Wow. I'm glad I kept the show going. Thank you, W. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You win. You win. My brother, my sister.
That was
whoever.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But
right at the end of the show. Thank you very much, and good night. No,
yes. No, but I'm gonna be talking about the show each week, and hopefully I didn't scare Elliot away. Everybody's like, Elliot, like you want to get the hell out of here, microwave dog.
Yeah, man.
It's a good show, Elliot, and
check out the first episode and see what you think about it.
How many seasons? So
this is the first season of this. This is the first season of this book.
Would I be okay diving into this chapter 3 versus going back?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, because you can watch this as a standalone if you want to, because it's a prequel.
This is a prequel.
Yeah,
this is happening in 91 while everything else happened in present day.
Yeah,
and so and so again, I like the show because the moral of the story is, I mean, it glorifies the streets, but it teaches you that if you do live this lifestyle, you will end up being dead or in jail. And if any youth are watching that, that's the lesson that they're going to learn. Like, it may be cool to watch it on TV, but I'm gonna end up being dead or in jail if I watch this. So
maybe, they may turn around and think, well, he became 50 Cent and now he's a billionaire.
And that's a one in a million chance right there. But guys, we are well over time on this movie news roundup show today, and I want to thank my guests so much for being here. Elliot, Larry, I really do appreciate you both. Thank you so much. Y'all really do keep the show alive. Before we go, Larry, what's your final words, sir, and what you got going on your channel, man?
Man, I feel like with your viewers, I need to go start a GoFundMe page or something and just go send them all the link. They're coming through.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do.
I need to go start live streaming so I can get my laptop cracking.
Yes.
Oh man, I just have the same stuff, more tech. I do have a couple of TV boxes I'm going to review coming up. I have some lights and stuff, that I'm going to review, like these RGB lights that I use for my backgrounds. I have a couple of sets of those I'm going to review and check them out. And yeah, just trying to keep the tech stuff rolling, trying to grow the channel. It's been a little slow for whatever reason. It seems like maybe it's just summertime. Things have slowed down a bit. So I'm hoping things will pick back up soon, but we'll see. Well, yeah.
Okay. My fault. I forgot to bring up your thing. Deleted something on accident, but there you go. Okay. Elliot, what are your final words, man? What do you have going on your channel?
Yeah, man. Brandon, Larry, it's always a pleasure, man. I see Larry at 42.9. Let's get him to 43,000. He's right at the peak there. So definitely help him out there. And shout out to Brandon too. I noticed you 31,000. So shout out to you guys, crushing it, killing it, man. Both of you guys are inspiration to me. So it's always a pleasure to chat movie news and hearing about Power Book 3 and dogs being cooked in the microwave and whatnot. Woo! But no, this is a fun time, guys. Definitely check me out this week. We got a lot of cool things to look forward to. I'm going to be checking out Old on the new M. Night movie coming this Friday. I'm going to be seeing it on Wednesday, I believe.
Same
we got Snake Eyes coming out that I'm going to be checking out this week that I'm excited for. And there's something else. I don't know if you guys watched He-Man. I'm scared of watching He-Man, man, because I know it's a continuation of the 80s show, and I never watched that show, so I feel like I'm gonna be lost watching, all these.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
But besides that
was on streaming, right? That's coming on Netflix.
Kevin Smith, and there's something. Oh, Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso will be coming back for season 2.
Oh, that's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, I love that show. So keep an eye out for all those reviews. And again, Larry and Brandon, happy early birthday to Brandon. And, have a good birthday, my friend. But everyone have a good Sunday.
Thank you. Oh, we got one more. Hold on.
Another one. There you go. I like it.
21, the Tomorrow War, Monster, and I Care a Lot. What are y'all's?
I Care a Lot, man. That thing just messed my head up, boy. That movie was scary. That was like a real life horror film.
I haven't seen it.
Oh man, that movie is It's about people being put under conservatorships and people basically having their lives stripped away from them, put into like care facilities, and all their property and assets sold off. It is absolutely frightening what people can do and do legally. It is it is a wonderful movie. It is a fantastic movie. It's really, really well acted, and yeah, I would. What's his name? From Game of Thrones is in it. Peter Dinklage, and his character is just fantastic. So,
right on.
Yeah, if you haven't seen, it's one of those movies. If you have not seen it, it is definitely worth watching.
Well, David, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. Clay D, it comes out on Friday, I think the 23rd. Exquisite Coilers, you're very welcome. You stay safe as well. Where you at, Melissa? I saw you. And you're very well. Good night, everyone. Good night, Brandon. Thank you for another awesome stream. Thank you, Elliot, Larry, and all the Just My Opinion chat family. And thank you, guys. And me, I'm going to be doing a review for the He-Man Master of the Universe. Old, Snake Eyes. I'm seeing both of those Wednesday. I'm gonna be doing a lot of trailer reactions. And guys, I want to thank you as well. I did buy my new computer, my MacBook Pro. Which is right here. I haven't. It's right here. I haven't. I'm using the old computer now. I still got to figure out how to use it. Because I'm going from a Windows to Mac, so that's a little. I just got to figure that out. But I have it right here, and so thank you all for helping me pay for it. Y'all bought me a new monitor, and y'all paid for this mic as well. And so thank you for all your super chats and just watching my videos. That's the money I make from this thing. I reinvested in, to give you guys better content and things of that nature. And so again, if you like what these gentlemen had to say, you can follow them on social media. Their handles are on the screen right here and also down in the description box of this video. And like always, you can head over to my channel tab and they will be right there. But guys, again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to another Movie News Roundup show number 22. And before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery, that's Larry and Elliot, and that's Just Our Opinion. Peace out, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.